Podcast.
Welcome to Warcraft Reloaded, a podcast brought to you by Mash Those Buttons, featuring World of Warcraft Classic and its community. I am losing my voice, also known as Blazing Bob, and I'm joined by Mel, aka Melorita. How you doing?
Hi, I'm good. My voice kind of goes in and out, but I wasn't as wild and crazy as you kids, you know?
Yeah.
Somebody had to be responsible.
Yeah, I lost my voice basically Sunday morning. It was gone. Sarthe lost his on Saturday night, and I don't know how Crix didn't lose his voice. I feel like it's Crix yells like so much volume. He's built up throat calluses that protect him, so he can just yell at all times. But welcome also to the show, Sarthe. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm trying to nurse my voice back to health. As you said, it was gone. It was like gone Friday night. I woke up on Saturday and I was like, oh, this is rough. I'm going to try to not talk to people. And then you spend the entire con just talking to people, which is dope. It was so nice meeting so many people. But then like when we were on our way somewhere, Only would always have to be like, no, we have to go now. And like, I would just stop to have like full conversations every time because I was excited to meet people. And then by the end of the night, I was like, I can't even talk. It was rough. Yesterday was the worst one too. But today I'm feeling a lot better.
Yep. Day before yesterday was worse for me, but
we're also actually Sunday.
We're also joined by Winky. How you doing, Winky?
Good, actually. Yeah, I always have a raspy voice. So for cons, it's like I lose my voice, and it's just like instead of like dealing with a rasp, I just have to deal with like, you know how like it hurts your throat when you talk when you have like you lose it. So I don't remember what video it was on. I think I did an episode of S or something where someone commented recently, and they were like, God, I hate this guy's voice. Like I absolutely I hate his voice. I'm used to it at this point. I definitely like some people like the rasp. They're like, oh, you should start an ASMR channel. And then some people absolutely hate it. Like it's like nails on a chalkboard. So
dude,
okay, I'm used to it.
Comments are so helpful too. You know, it's like it's super constructive. You can really do a lot with that, you know.
I feel like I've gone through the because it's been like this since I turned 24. My voice got really raspy due to a health condition. And I went through the whole like mental gymnastics, and now I'm just like, hey, it is what it is, dude. Yeah. I like it.
So don't listen. You don't like it, don't listen.
Yeah, you don't like it, go find someone that you do like listening to, like Blazing Bob.
Oh, I have plenty of people that say they don't like mine, but yeah.
What? Your voice is really? Like it's so deep and like it's like you're talking directly into people's ears. Yeah. You know, you have like the perfect radio voice, and it's amazing.
Bob's got a face for radio too.
Thank you. I definitely do. I used to be good looking though. I will tell you. You know, back in the day, I was. I promise.
I did learn
Winky blends in with his wall.
I know, it's so bad. For the listeners, it's because I'm very white and my walls are white.
Oh man.
I need to go outside more.
There's some lighting issues.
Dude, I just spent the whole weekend outside. I feel like I'm tan right now.
We were like inside though. We were literally inside like the entire time.
No. When you're a smoker, sorry,
you're just outside of the house.
Outside the con.
Yeah, you do. You end up just going outside.
Spend time outside in the shade.
But that's how you run into a lot of people because you're standing there, they're just walking by, and you're like, bro.
Yeah, it's true.
So it actually works.
I did meet a lot of amazing people last weekend.
Dude,
I'm so excited about it.
Same. All right. I'd like to start the show out by thanking our patrons in Thick Lizzie, Croxford, Braxton, and Turtle Whale. I'd like to mention we stream live on twitch.tv/BlazinBob, BLAZZINBOB. Guys, this episode is going to be a little different. We're not going to be doing the normal format. We're going to be doing this show and another one this week, just talking about the con and any news that was at the con, but anything really coming out after that, we're not going to really worry about. We don't have voicemails or anything, but if you do want to send a voicemail for the episode this weekend, it's 816-866-1066 or speakpipe.com/Warcraft Reloaded. So yeah,
it'll probably be a really short episode. It was a really, light news week. So
yeah, there's nothing much going on in the WoW space these days.
Not a lot to talk about.
Well, okay, so that's gonna be it, guys. So
see you next week. No.
So
thanks for coming.
I want to start out by specifically, it's funny because the first show that Sarthe was on, we told him how fantastic BlizzCon is, and specifically how cool it is when you're a creator in the space. And I remember him looking at us kind of like, I mean, we didn't know each other very well. And he was looking at us like kind of like, but it's pretty cool,
sure
but I don't
fun.
think it's all
I was nervous. You talked it up so much, right? Like both of you guys were telling me all of these stories about all of the cool things you do at BlizzCon. And at first I was like, okay, this sounds like, first of all, I'm like, I was believing it. I was like, they know everybody, for one, which sounds dope. And for two, I'm like, I hope when I can finally go to a BlizzCon, it's even like a fraction of that cool. And then when we went to TwitchCon, I was like, oh, you guys fucking know cons. Excuse my language, but you guys are amazing at conventions. You're so good at it. You do it all right, perfect. And I was like, so this time before BlizzCon, I remember like on the way down there, I was in the car with Jordy. No, I drove myself. It was the day before. I was in the car with Jordy and I was like, yo, are we going to hit up Blaze and Bob and Mel right when we get there, right? And Crix was like already texting him. I was like, perfect.
Nice. Yeah. So
listen, you got to save up like all year to be like that engaged at BlizzCon, right?
Oh,
like,
yeah.
And it's like so much social interaction that, let's be real, like we do online for the most part. Like
yeah,
that
I was
many
not
people,
expecting it.
It's just nuts, but it's so much fun.
Well, and
You
that's
know what I was expecting though? Oh, go ahead, Bob.
Oh,
Sorry,
well,
I didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, I'm kind of trying to set the stage for this to go on, but I wanted to ask you, Winky, because I don't think I'd ever asked. I've asked you how many times you've been to TwitchCon. You've been a bunch, but I never asked you how many times you've been to BlizzCon. Was this your first?
That was my first BlizzCon, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah,
Ooh, there were so many
I
BlizzCon
wanted
babies.
We're all little Blizzy
segment.
virgins.
Little Blizzy virgins.
I wanted this one to be you guys talking. Yeah, but okay, let me get this out. I'm gonna let you go. I wanted this to be like maybe your guys' thoughts on what was gonna be, and then like what your actual impressions was, of the con. None of the news, just the con itself, and just being with all the different creators, meeting people, fans coming up to you. I mean, when we were walking with Sarthe, Jordy, Crix, Shobek. I mean, I don't want to name names because like there was so many people there, but all very popular people, and people are just stopping. Like we'd get stopped every 5 feet because like there was at least someone there that somebody wanted to talk to, and it was super cool for me. But I want to hear from you guys.
Well, let me just finish this. There was a point where Bob and I were like, we need to go off on our own
Saturday.
So we need to not see them until we at least see all of the convention center, because you can't move very far.
Yep, and it's like herding cats because you're like trying to bring everybody back in. You're like, hey, we're going. Okay, well, they're gone. So we're just like, we're just gonna walk around for a couple hours Saturday, and then we'll meet up with everybody.
That's what that's me and Only did that at the end of the first day. It was like I kept saying I wanted to see more of the convention. I wanted to actually see it. And we got to like the Dark Moon Fair, which was inside the World of Warcraft area. And then we were there started. And we were taking. Yeah, I know. I was like, we didn't get any of this done.
We should have walked to Diablo. When we had that plan, we should have walked to Diablo and moved down. The Warcraft area was dangerous for this crew.
Yeah, that's true.
The Warcraft area was also the most packed from like all the areas. Like I spent most of the time in the Diablo area because I'm a Diablo Omega nerd. Like I would honestly say I'm probably like a bigger Diablo nerd than I'm a WoW nerd.
In the last
that's saying
3
something,
weeks,
right?
how many hours of Diablo versus WoW have you played?
I've probably played 30 hours a week of Diablo and 6 hours a week
Seriously?
of WoW. Yes, I play.
Wow.
I didn't even know you were like.
30 hours, that's it? And you say you play Diablo? Imagine, guys. Everyone listening, he doesn't even.
Sorry, you got to remember, I work 50 hours a week full time. And then I get off work. And then I have to play WoW and Diablo. So I leveled my rogue to 30 in OnlyFans just so I didn't get the hit on FKP. I got approval from Soda for going to BlizzCon, so I didn't have to hit 35. And then, I've just been playing Diablo 2, actually. Not even Diablo 4. Like I started a new tune for the new season of Diablo 2 or Diablo 4, and I went straight back to Diablo 2 and kept grinding.
I'm so curious. I heard that the new season was really good so far.
It is. It's great, but I'm just such a Diablo 2 fanboy. Like I've been playing it since before playing classic WoW, like when I was a kid. And it's just the game that I'll never stop playing.
Okay, the game that keeps on giving.
Fair. Yeah, yep. and they launched a stealth fresh. The new ladder season for Diablo 2 was like 2 weeks ago. Like it's just like it's popping right now. There's a bunch of people playing, so I just jumped on and I got my Enigma made and my hammered in, and I'm good. I'm set for the season.
There you go.
Nice.
So now I can play WoW again. But I don't know.
Welcome back. Welcome home.
So I spent most of my time in the Diablo section, actually, because the WoW section was so busy. And to be honest, BlizzCon's great. Like for my first BlizzCon, I was like way more impressed than I thought I would be.
Especially after going to TwitchCon and like how unimpressive that con itself is.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, the one criticism I have for BlizzCon is I wish there were more activities. I wish there was more to do, if that makes sense, other than like go around and look at the decorations and like take photos. I wish there was like more mini games that you can play, or like, not like wait in a line to play 30 minutes of Season of Discovery, right? Like
3-hour line.
Yeah.
I fully agree. I saw that sentiment from a lot of people online, and I fully agree, because like we didn't really get to experience that. We kind of had like, let's be real, we kind of got catered to a little bit in the coolest ways, right? Like we got to play the new versions of the game like multiple times, even by completely not waiting in any line, right?
Yep.
I got to live stream it for the first reveal of it. And so we had a very unique experience. And I totally get that, because when I did get to just walk around the entire like con, I was through the whole thing really quickly. But in the Blizzard area or in the WoW area, like I could easily spend like hours just talking to and meeting people. I think the coolest aspect of BlizzCon was that everyone loves the same game or the same games, and it's like all of the same people together, like the friends.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, can I tell you my bathroom story?
Oh,
it's in line with exactly what you just said, right? So
yeah,
I'm
obviously. Slightly terrified.
This isn't the story of me.
No, not
me making everybody sing, right?
Yeah, this is a different.
Because that was
story.
epic, I will say.
So
I had the whole bathroom singing, like 20 people.
So this is a little vulgar. Okay, so I'm just gonna say it. I'm a trigger warning. Phallic objects. It's a men's restroom. Okay. So trigger warning now. If you don't like that, mute for the next 45 seconds.
I hate men's restrooms.
So I go to the bathroom, right? And like, I'm a metalhead. I go to metal concerts. It's my number one hobby, like outside of gaming. So like, I am no stranger to going to like a metal show and just screaming Slayer while you're pissing into a trough. Right. And then the whole bathroom goes Slayer and like screams it back. Right. It's like a thing that you do at metal shows. Right.
Not at BlizzCon.
So at BlizzCon, right. I don't know what it was. I think it was a mix of like the fact that I was like double fisting tall, like hazy IPAs or like all night. But like I'm peeing in the bathroom of the Marriott. Right. And all these people in the bathroom, they're WoW players. Like, when are you ever going to have an opportunity to cater to an entire men's restroom full of WoW players, right? It's also like the only time at BlizzCon I've ever seen the men's restroom have a 20-person line and the body type 2 restroom have 0 line, right? Because it's a BlizzCon.
Because it's right? BlizzCon, yeah.
So I'm peeing, dude. I'm peeing into this urinal, right? And I'm doing that thing where you stare like at the wall or like slightly down, right? So that no one gets any ideas of like, you're just staring at the wall, right? And I just like let out this heavy sigh. And I was like, boys, I parse grays. And the entire bathroom, like dudes were in the stalls, dudes were in the urinals next to me, and they were like, no, like all at once, right? Because they were all drinking, we were all drunk. And then this one guy was like in the stall, and from the stall I heard, you should get coaching. And I was like, where would I go to get coaching? And then a guy in another stall was like, check Twitter, man. They're all over the place.
Oh my God.
And I was just like,
Tell
you know,
that man-
statistically.
You should have been like, please don't check Twitter.
Yeah, right. Well, so and then I was like, statistically,
Twitter.
boys, we are all technically like really bad at the game, right? Like the 99.99% chances are not in this bathroom with us right now. And they all kind of like shook their head and agreed. And then the one dude on the far end, he was like washing his hands and he was like, bet you I'm the only PvPer. And I was like, dude, this is an interaction that you only get at BlizzCon.
Congratulations.
But it was honestly a highlight of my con. I'm not gonna lie. I think it was probably one of my favorite moments of the second favorite was when Bob made the entire men's restroom sing with him.
Wait,
I didn't make them. It just happened.
He just started singing and they all sang along.
Yeah, I was
Can we
like,
talk about the convention center bathrooms? Because listen, I'm all for unisex bathrooms. I don't care. I don't care if it's any gender, whatever you want to do with the bathroom. But you can't make a men's bathroom and a unisex bathroom. Like those are your options.
Oh, is that what it was? You guys,
No,
there wasn't
BT2, wasn't there?
There wasn't BT2s?
Not at the convention.
Really?
it's
No.
because
I did
they're in
not
the
know
middle
that.
of conversion and they can't put urinals in the unisex bathroom.
I beg to differ. I went into a unisex bathroom
Wait,
with
I
urinals.
feel like a unisex bathroom should have a urinal.
No, because you don't want to walk by a bunch of men peeing in a urinal. I mean, I don't care. But
Especially
there's a lot of people that
when
don't
they're
wanna do
drunk and they're like having the bet. Okay, let's see how far you can get back.
that. Men's bathrooms
It's not
are also
something
very
I
gross.
do, but I see it happen all the
I've
time.
seen that happen. I've
All
seen
the
that happen
time.
in like grade
Can we
school.
talk about like
I've
any
never
gender
seen that
bathrooms?
I see it
happen.
happen at bars and clubs all the time. And then there's always the guy that's like, yo, man, I'm just going to use the sink. And they're on the
Yeah,
sink.
dude.
I've
there
seen
is
that.
always the sink guy. I'm
Yeah.
not a sink guy, but there's always one. And then there's always the dude that walks into the women's restroom because they don't want to wait and they're at the bar. This is like country bars.
And the women's restroom.
See, I have to be
I will-
extremely drunk to use the urinal. Like I'm like pee shy.
But-
Like I don't want to be around anybody. I don't want anybody touching me. I don't want anybody talking to me. I just want to go in the stall, be alone.
They don't
He doesn't
usually
even
touch
like
you.
He
They
doesn't
don't-
like it.
nobody
I
touches
try
No
to
you.
one
talk
ever
to him.
does. But I have this weird, this weird feeling somebody's going to touch me. I think it goes back to grade school. Second grade when Tommy
Very
pushed
awkward.
me into the urinal while I was going, and I think I'm still traumatized by that. I'm just kidding. I don't know. I don't
God
know
damn
why.
it, Tommy.
I just don't.
Right?
I just don't like it. I don't know. But
Why
if
did he
I'm
do it to
drunk,
our
I'm just
boy?
like I can
I
go
need to
anywhere.
finish my rant about these bathrooms. Okay.
Okay,
Because
sorry.
Yes.
All
Well,
gender
you did let
bathrooms.
us. You did let us talk
I
about
don't
the
care about
singing.
your rant though. But all gender bathrooms are supposed to be like enclosed little restrooms, right? Like you can't have stalls in all gender bathrooms. Like
Dude,
I don't want to see feet facing every which way direction.
tell
when there's
that.
stalls.
Okay,
It's so weird.
tell that to the people in Paris. I'm still traumatized from the pretty girl coming in the bathroom while I was in the bathroom, making me think, oh, and I was like, oh, sorry, I didn't know this was a women's bathroom. And she looks at me. I don't know if she didn't understand English, but she looks at me weird. And then she just goes to the stall, doesn't shut the door, and just drops her pants. And I was like,
She didn't shut the door.
no, like I was just like,
Yo,
okay. And I
there's,
walked
there's a
out.
difference between like
This was
there's a
was
difference
Paris.
between a
It was
bathroom
weird.
etiquette and like public indecency. You know what I mean? Shut the door when you go to the
Yeah.
bathroom. What the hell are you? I've been in bathrooms where the stall doors have been
Shut the door.
removed before.
Paris was different. Like there were unisex bathrooms and bars everywhere, and no one gave a shit. But I mean, I guess it goes to like you'll see cons in other countries where there's outdoor, like a tube that comes out of the ground, and there's this little hole, And the dudes just go up and just put their thing in it and start going pee. Like, and it's out in public. You haven't
That's
seen
terrifying.
that? Oh,
No,
I've
dude,
I've
and
never
I'm-
seen that in my life.
Okay,
I've gone to so many.
There's in a bunch of
If
movies.
somebody's like, hey, yeah, you just go stick your thing in that hole over there,
Yeah.
and that's where you pee.
If there's like a corrugated piece of like
That's
metal
true.
pipe sticking out of the ground, they're like, yeah, go dig on that.
no,
Like, no,
that's the
what?
toilet.
They're called, I forget what they're called, but I mean, I've seen them in tons of different things. Like, God,
We're
but oh yeah.
off topic.
Mel, did you want to?
Yeah, this is.
Did you have anything
what
else
a-
you wanted
what
to
a
say about the
tangent.
urinals?
Nope, I'm good. That's
Alright,
all
well,
I need to say about the toilets. I just had to make my
Sarthe
2 cents.
Didn't hear about this. Okay, so there's like I don't know, 4 of us maybe. Winky, 4 of our crew in the the
we were all in the bathroom.
and I'm
Yeah.
in the stall, and I just walk out of the stall, and I'm going to wash my hands, and I'm like, Mama told me when I was young. I just start going, and then I get to sit beside me, my only son, and people start jumping in. And then the whole bathroom's singing it, Simple Man. And like, I just dried my hands, dropped the mic, and walked out. And this whole bathroom's still singing.
Yeah, it's a banger of a song though, Bob. Like everyone on the world, like they all love that song.
True.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful
Can we
tune.
just-
You know what I mean?
Can
It
we
was
just say,
so
if
fun.
you guys ever hear Bobby singing in public again and you join in, you're just reinforcing
fueling
that
it,
behavior,
yeah,
They
you're
had
right?
fun
fun
So-
To be
doing it
honest, like,
too. They had fun
Bob
doing it
killed
too.
it. Yeah, he slayed the
Right,
song.
but
Like he was
then-
into, like it was great.
Well, it's
Yeah, you
bathroom
guys, here's the
bathroom
thing. Here's the
acoustics
thing.
helps.
Is those things happen at like BlizzCon, right? And then I'm gonna go with him to somewhere else, and he's gonna be like, we're gonna be like at a steakhouse, and he's gonna try to start singing in the bathroom, and
Oh,
I'll
I
get
mean-
kicked out or
Totally fine.
something.
I've
you
done it
know?
at
You might get
bars.
free dinner.
So Mel, I just never tell you that I do it at bars and stuff. But
Oh,
dude,
that's fair.
people get
Please
into
don't.
it all of the time. Like it's not like that's the first time I've done that. Like that's
God.
something I pull out of my pocket. You know, 1 a.m. in the morning, everybody's having a good time. Like, and I mean, it often turns into everybody singing along.
Okay, back to on topic at BlizzCon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So okay. Yeah. Okay. I want you two's like. How did it feel, like Sarthe? Like, how did it feel to have so many people coming up to you, wanting pictures, wanting to talk, wanting to do everything? Like, it had to feel really cool. And same with you, Winky. Like, what'd you guys feel? Like, how did it feel?
Sarthe, do you mind if I jump in?
Yeah, I want you to go first. No, all you.
Okay, because I think we had similar but very different experiences because I felt like I kind of got cheated out of the true BlizzCon experience. And I say that because I've never been to one before. And I started streaming World of Warcraft in 2019, right?
Mhm.
And it's like, and it's the first one since COVID happened. So like I went to BlizzCon and like I didn't think anyone was going to recognize me at all, right? But I'm like waiting in line at the taco truck or the food trucks, like out front of the con and stuff. And people were like, someone came up to me and they like thanked me for what we've done with the hardcore community.
Look
And
at
it was
that.
just like, it's just like people, like
It's
people
so
did come
humbling,
up and like,
right?
it was humbling, but it was like, it was this weird thing because as a streamer, I'm sure we all can attest to this, right? Like Bob, Mel, Sarthe, especially Sarthe. There's something's called imposter syndrome, right? And imposter syndrome is like, you feel like you're grinding really hard and you're doing the best you can, but you kind of feel like you're not quite where everyone else is in terms of like streaming or like whatever job you're doing, right?
Mhm.
And I feel like I've had that for a long time with streaming because it's like people don't view me as a streamer. I don't view me as a streamer, right? I just do a podcast and I just play WoW and I click the go live button and hang out with cool people, right? But it was almost like validating, and I don't want it to sound like I'm like tooting my own horn or like gassing myself up or anything. But it was
Yes.
like it was really nice. Like the first night we did, like after we got back to the room, I like broke down like emotionally, and I was like, holy shit, like these people like knew who I was, and like they're tapping me on the shoulder and being like, Winky, and like shaking my hand and being like, hey, thank you for all the content that you've been making, and like this. And I was like, this is insane. Like I went up to Holly Longdale and I was going to thank her for her work on her classic team, and I reached out my hand and she was like, come here, Winky. She knew my name and she gave me a hug instead of a handshake.
Dude,
that's the coolest.
Yeah. I was like, this is just the coolest thing like I've ever experienced. So it was an amazing BlizzCon. I had a wonderful time, right? Of course. And I got to see all these people that I had never met before. I got to see all the beautiful people like you guys, everyone on this call, Graves for Days, Cricks, all the homies that we have known each other for years now in real life. And we get to see each other maybe once or twice a year, right? Which is awesome. Yeah. And then like meeting people.
Glad we had TwitchCon before this BlizzCon though, right?
Oh yeah, yeah, true. Because then it was even better, right? Like we all had that, right? Yeah. And we had the hardcore announcement in LA, so we all went down and like that was like another bonding moment, right? So like it feels like I was explaining to my girlfriend, right? Because she met everyone for the first time, right? I was explaining to her that it's like once you've upgraded to real life friends from the internet, whether it's WoW, your guildies, Twitch, whatever, right? Once you've upgraded to real life friends, it's more of like every time you see each other, you're just friends that you haven't seen each other in a while.
Yes.
It's not like that reintroduction phase of like meeting someone for the first time that you met on the internet, right? But even people like Showbeck, right? He came up and it was like, dude, that's
instant friends with Showbeck. And like,
friends.
I didn't even like, this was the first time I ever interacted with him. Like I did in the Discord, you know, like when he first jumped in, I was like, dude, love your stuff. Bunkai, you know, but but it is, so that, I think that's something Mel and I've been doing for years because we used to do it back with the like Overwatch content. And like when we first met Eddie the Chump and Frito from the Your Overwatch channel, like it was the same thing. We just like bonded in real life very quickly because there wasn't that awkward getting to know each other thing. But like,
and then like every time you'd see him, it was just like, hey, we're back, right? Like it's not like,
but it's different though. For you, Wiki, was the same for me. Like I've been to BlizzCon a bunch of times. I was a content creator. A bunch of people in the scene knew me, and then anybody who frequented the Discords and stuff knew me, and I'd been talking with them before, so it was totally normal meeting them. But the thing that was different for me this time, and it only happened, you know, like I can count them on my hands, like 10 times maybe. It happened a ton for Sarthe, I'm sure, maybe a ton for you, but like people that I've never interacted with at all that tapped me on the shoulder and were asking for a picture, and it was so humbling, and I want to apologize to all of you that came and did that, because after the con was over, when all the adrenaline went down, I felt so much remorse in not staying longer, asking you where you're from, really talking to you.
You know who
I felt really bad. Bullshit. I felt really bad that I didn't spend more time talking with you, and I just want to tell you,
never know.
You coming up and asking to take a photo and being so into what we do. I mean, that's why we do it, and it was I'm super humbled, and just I was honestly nervous and scared to say the wrong thing to you guys, if I'm being honest. And I don't know how these guys felt, but it was different.
Bob? There were people that came up that we got to meet for the first time, that have been in everyone's chats forever. Like the people that are just like hardcore supporters of classic WoW. Like talk to anyone. He's in chat right now. Yeah. Right.
And those
talk to anyone hung out with us the whole night.
Those you kind of already know. So you get along immediately, right? Like it feels comfortable.
Yeah.
And I just felt bad that I didn't talk to the people, that I hadn't talked to before more. I don't know. It was just like super humbling and out of this world, to be honest.
I want to hear Sarthe's experience now.
Yeah.
No, I actually, as you're saying that, I kind of got a little emotional, which is a trip. I feel like going to this BlizzCon felt so validating of all of the hard work we've put into all of our channels, right? Like everything you've done to create content that will help people. Like it literally, the content I make is always like in some way meant to help people improve or be able to do something and make something easier for them. And so, I'm getting emotional again. I'm really, 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 really thankful for everyone that came up to me and spent some time or like noticed me and wanted a picture. And I tried to make a really concerted effort of trying to get to know them as much as possible, because I just got really excited that anyone would. And it was crazy. The coolest thing too, on top of that, is like, one, that always just feels so validating, like online, because I don't, as you guys know, as my friends, right? Like I don't see comments, I don't see Discord messages, I don't see texts, I don't see anything other than in-person like conversations. I'm not really great at things outside of in-person conversations. Anything electronic, just kind of like, I just literally don't pay attention to. And so like seeing all of these people that have like been following me forever and came up for like big hugs and pictures was just like, it was amazing. I met so many amazing people, and people that are genuinely, I can already say, like people that are outside of our friend group that are gonna be, and already I'm texting, are gonna be like my friends, right? Like, and we're gonna hang out and stuff. And then on top of that, to be with, I feel like we have this crazy world of like classic WoW, especially with hardcore. Like it's our friend group. Like we literally announced it, right? And like with Cargo's there and Grays, it's like we like, it was our friend group is like the founding nation of the hardcore scene, even though I'm mostly doing the Wrath Andy stuff all the time. And so it was so cool when the hardcore announcements were going out. We're all just like good friends, just cheering. We're like, this is us. This is us. It was just amazing. And to be like walking around with that mob of like low key legends, that are literally just all really good friends. And Shobek just instantly fit in to the friend group, right? Like he was so quickly just one of us.
And Shobek making Jordy the most uncomfortable he's ever been in his life during the opening ceremony.
Yeah, but to be fair, it's not hard to make Jordy feel uncomfortable.
It's not.
It's pretty easy to make Jordy feel uncomfortable.
I'm not going to tell the story, but I made Jordy extremely nervous and uncomfortable one time during the con. I was like, bro, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Listen,
won't happen again.
The opening ceremony was just so funny because it was such an extended period of time. And I felt like Jordy was in this box of like, he didn't want to feel rude and get up, not towards the people around us, but towards like the people presenting, right? He didn't want to feel rude and get up, but he also wanted to be anywhere other than the seat that he was in.
That was literally his nightmare. Like Jordy texted his brother. So if anyone, for context, we were all sitting together for the opening ceremony, and we're really close to the stage. We're like right there.
That's all Chris is doing too. Like we were in media, and Chris took us down. He went down to the floor. Jordy didn't want to move because Jordy's like, I follow rules, guys. And then Crix was like, okay. And then he walked back down. He's like, he got approval for media to come down there. They were like, all right, well, we're going now, Jordy.
Well, I saw someone just hop right next to us, and I was like, yo, Crix, can we just... You think we could do this? Crix has like, it's the best. Fear. He has no fear at all, no filter. Like we were trying to get into that area alone, and they had like stopped letting media in. And there was like a group of caterers walking into the opening ceremony, and we just walked right behind them. He's like, oh, I'm just going this way. And I was like, all right, it was epic. And so we just do it. Nobody questions us. So he's literally zero fear whatsoever. He's ready to just go at all times. And so every announce that's happening, he's like wicked over the top. He's like yelling at the top of his lung. So are we, but Crix and Shobek are both on their seats just going crazy for every single announce that's happening. And then Right next to them is Jordy. Jordy is just curled up in this ball, literally head down in his lap. And he's just like, please stop bringing attention to me. Stop embarrassing me, please. And Jordy also, not even looking up, just every time Creek stands up, just grabs his shirt from the back and is trying to pull him down. He's trying to pull him to sit down.
Dude, so you guys had that experience. I wasn't with you for the opening ceremony, right?
Yeah.
I had the strangest it was kind of lame actually, but it had like the strangest opening ceremony. So my guildies in Wrath from my old server before I was on Benediction, they were all staying at the same Airbnb with me and my girlfriend, right? So our guild has a couple WoW devs in it, not WoW devs, but Blizzard employees that were working on Warcraft Rumble, right? Like that was the team that they work on.
Yeah.
So they pull us over to the Warcraft Rumble section to do to watch the opening ceremony on like the big screen, right? So we're just hanging out there, and it's like me and like two of my guildies, and then everyone else is like a Blizzard employee, right? Watching it on this big screen. So like I'm like popping off at these announcements, like, let's go, this is sick, oh my God, right? And then it's like, it felt like all the joy got robbed from me, because I would look around and they're all Blizzard employees, like, oh yeah, haha, yeah, great, we didn't know that was
you
coming.
Didn't know
like,
about this, did you?
Yeah, oh yeah, well, yeah, we must have forgot to tell you that one, Winky.
Oh
like,
my God.
It kind of sucked, but at the same time, it was very unique, and I wouldn't trade it for the world, right? I mean, if I was there, I would probably be making Jordy feel just as uncomfortable. Like I'd be up on like Crix's shoulders, right, and he'd be like throwing me around. It was
honestly, it was awesome. It was so much fun. So like, yeah, I loved every minute of it. And I think it's funny, but yeah, Jordy was so nervous about that. But he also got to meet like his entire guild came, right? So many people from Fusion. So he was so happy later on, like that day. And that's like really, I think the best.
This is my favorite moment with Jordy is somebody came through and like touched Sarthe on the shoulder. It was like, hey. And Sarthe was like, hey. They're like, can I get a picture with him? And pointed to Jordy, and Jordy was just like, yes, okay. And I was like, oh my gosh. Because Sarthe just had like 25 people come up to him and ask him for pictures, right?
It was Jordy's time. I was so stoked. I was like, let's go. That's also like, I was going to say, one of our favorite things about our friend group and Winky, because Winky wasn't with us for that opening ceremony. So he was outside with his old guildies. And our friend group, the second we see Winky, everyone, and we're all just streamers, right? Everyone, we're like, oh my God, is that Winky? Is that the real Winky? Dude. Oh my God.
That was like our favorite thing to do to everybody that entire time.
We purely just hype each other up. And I think that's like the dopest thing. It's like just like the epitome of support for each other is like in a situation where it could be like awkward or nerve wracking, you know, it's like, is anyone going to want to say hi? Or even just like, do you feel bad if no one recognizes you, or you feel nervous if people do? Your friends coming together and always just like being around you and hyping you up and being like so much like excitement. Just, it gets me, even now it gets me excited.
Well, that reminds me of when we're walking by, and like, I don't think you even knew that I knew Golden Boy and Uber and all the casters and stuff. So we're walking by, and you go up to talk to Golden Boy, and I'm like, oh dude, I haven't seen him since I haven't partied with him since 2018 at the Guild Hall, but I wasn't sure he was going to remember me, because I don't know him as well as I know like Uber and some of the others, right? And so I'm just standing there while you're talking to him, and I'm just looking at him, and then you get done and you guys walk off, but then he sees me, and I was so excited for you guys to see him recognize me, and I look over after he recognizes me, is like, what's up? And you guys are gone, and I'm like, damn it. All right, so I talked to him, and then we I show him the last picture we took at the Guild Hall, and it's me, Mel, him, Uber, and he's like, "Oh my God, dude, good times!" And he goes,
to put me into that story.
He goes, 2018, holy shit, that was some good times. I was like, all right, man, well, I'll talk to you later. And then right then I get this shoulder tap, and I was like, I turn around, I'm like, hey. And he was like, "Are you Beelzebub?" And he had an accent. I don't know where it was from, but he asked me for a picture, and I was like, "Oh yeah, cool, yeah." And so I did that. And of course, forgot, didn't ask him more questions. I wish I had. But then Winky told me that like he'd been kind of like hanging back, and Winky thought that he was after you, but he was like, plot twist. Oh man, it was so cool. Oh no, I want to tell one more though while we're on Overwatch. Saturday night after the Overwatch World Cup, I introduced Sarthe to Uber right after. And Sarthe was talking to Uber, but I could tell you were nervous as hell because you kept looking at me. And then you'd look over at Uber, and then you'd be like, oh, and you'd look back at me. But you were talking to Uber the entire time, and I was like, Sarthe's I don't see that from you a lot. You know what I mean? But he was a hero of yours, obviously.
Well, I'm really like a big fan of people that are in the casting space that are really, really good at it. And he's obviously
amazing.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. And also, I was nervous meeting anyone when my voice was so shot. Remember, I was like, maybe I shouldn't go over there. It's like nobody can even understand what I'm saying.
Oh man.
So I felt bad.
I'm gonna find you the episode that Uber first came on. I'll recap. You will love the interview that we did with him talking about how he comes up with his like lines and stuff, because he always comes up with the greatest one-liners during casts.
Oh, I'm super curious, actually. Yeah,
it was a great interview.
Was there anyone there that you guys actually fangirled over?
I mean, really everybody. If I'm being
Sarthe and
honest.
Winky.
I mean, honestly,
no. Other than the
honestly,
meme fangirls over each other.
Yeah. Like you guys are my boys, but I consume all of your content. Like I'm still a huge fan. You know what I mean?
I consume you. I'll tell you. Okay, I'll give you an example. I actually went up and took a photo with Bellular because I didn't know that Bellular was going to be there, and I've been watching Bellular for way too long.
I gave him my card and was like, if you want to talk about classic, let me know.
Dude, I have one.
Oh yeah, go ahead. Who's yours?
No. You finish. Mine is so different, and I totally fanboyed and went up. But you go finish.
It's one of those things where it's like through our group of friends and like through the content that we do on Twitch and stuff like that, I feel like we've gotten a lot of handshakes with a lot of people over the years. But Bellular has never been in that like circle, right? Of people that like, it's kind of like this web, like everyone kind of knows everyone. It's like a very small world actually in the terms of like content creators for World of Warcraft.
Yeah, it's like twice removed. It's like you're Winky's friend, but I know you because you're like. Yeah,
exactly. Like we've all kind of like heard each other's name. Like I met a couple people like Sony, right? Like I went and met Sony for the first time in real life, and he was like, "Oh, Winky, yeah." Like, and he remembered me from knowing his brother, even like through WoW and shit. Like, it's really weird, right? But like, Bellular was like at a left field. I didn't think that they were going to be at BlizzCon. And I was like, that's cool. So I went and made sure that I like went over there, took a picture. I actually was streaming on my phone at the time because Crix's phone died. So I like got a clip of me hanging out with Bellular. That was pretty sick.
There we go.
Yeah, felt good. Yeah.
My fangirl moment was Cleo Thomas.
Who's that?
He plays Hector Zeroni in Holes. And he was at the
Hector
fucking...
was there?
Yeah, he was fucking... He plays Zero.
Really?
Yeah, he was at the Blizzard meet and greet beforehand, like the event, like the Blizzard one, and he's standing there like kind of by himself, and I was like, that's Zero. I'm gonna tell you right now, that's Zero from Holes, and like nobody's like, it's very chill. He's got like one person talking to him, like it's like no one's doing anything, and I like it was at the Blizzard thing, so it was like all people in our industry, so like everyone I hadn't met before was like really coming up to us, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it was really, really cool. But I just keep being like, I'm sorry. I'm kind of like, is it? And Desi was like, no, I don't think it is. I was like, I'm pretty sure it is. She's like, why would he be here? And I was like, I remember that he did a dungeon like tournament thing in Diablo. So then I was like, I went up there and that's what he was doing. He also like recently won like a Mortal Kombat tournament
That's so cool. I didn't
dressed
know
as
that.
like the guy from the Goofy movie. So he's like, yeah, he's like a pro gamer.
What?
He's like, yeah, it was like wild.
That's
so
really
crazy.
cool, actually.
So
I
that
never would've
was
thought that would be
my actual fangirl moment. I sent the picture to Rachel and everything. I was like, no way.
That's sick. That's
Alright.
actually super cool.
So
I also
usually-
made friends. I also made friends with one of the guys from Love Is Blind. No, sorry, Too Hot to Handle.
Which one was it? Which guy
Too
was
Hot
it?
to
Because I
Handle?
love trash TV.
Oh, are you a trash TV guy?
I
What
am
do
a
you feel
trash
about
TV
if I say his name?
entrepreneur, bro.
All right, Chase is like the big like tall light skinned brother, like the big black guy, dude.
Yeah.
And when watching the show, I used to always be like with Rachel, I was like, that guy that would be my homie. Like I like his vibe. I fuck with that guy
Was
hard.
he there?
He's
At BlizzCon?
dope. Yeah, right after I got off stage for my streaming thing when I was streaming the game, he was like waiting there and he was like, "Yo, Sarth, what's up?" And I was like, "No way, dude."
That's crazy. What the? So me
That
and
is
my
so
girlfriend
cool.
have this thing where we
You
like
really were
look at
bros.
each other at like
Yeah.
9 p.m. Usually it's around 9 p.m. We like look at each other. Our eyes meet, right? And then we're like, trash TV, and then we just sit in
absolutely.
bed, drink beer, and watch like the most ridiculous shows on Netflix. So yeah, I'm a big fan of trash TV. That'd be sick though. You have to meet like a fuck.
Yeah,
boy.
he was dope, dude. He's very similar to me as a person, and I knew he would be, and
Well, I
it
take that
literally
back.
was.
He must have been or not a fuckboy.
Oh,
Really
well,
nice guy.
I mean, besides any of that, right? But he's
Yeah,
also
yeah,
like
yeah.
he just got back from like a boxing bout because he was on the like Logan Paul,
okay.
KSI, Tommy Fury thing. He was boxing there, and he was raiding on his flight back from Spain to BlizzCon. It is like literally raiding in his GDKP on a laptop in the plane.
That's so
Oh
sick.
my
There's-
God.
There's always somebody at each like I remember I fanboyed over Uber. Like, did I tell you about the first time I met Uber and I thought like he would never talk to me again with the first thing that I said to him? I tell you about this?
No. Oh yeah, you did. You did.
At Guildhall, the first season 1.
Uber's Australian, by the way, guys.
Yeah. So the first the first stage 1 finals were at Guildhall, and Monte Cristo's there. I mean, literally everybody's there. Gold Boy, freaking Mr. X, everybody's there. And freaking I'm outside vaping, people are smoking. Everybody goes in but Uber and me. And I'm just like, all right, this is my chance. And I go, hey. He goes, what's up? I was like, can you say that's not a knife? This is a knife? And immediately as I said that in my head, I thought, why did you just say that, you freaking idiot?
Yeah.
And he drops.
I'm pretty sure I was there and had a Geordie moment.
No. It was just
Okay, I
me
would've.
and him. I told you the story. Like, I think me and Uber told you the story when we got back in.
Probably.
But like, he drops his head down and looks down, and I'm like, oh my God, he's pissed. Oh my God, he's pissed. But what I didn't know is he was just getting into character, and he pops his head up and he gives it his all. And he's like, well, that's not a knife, mate. This is a knife. And he even does the thing where he pulls it out, and I was like, thank you, bro. I thought I just felt like an asshole. That just came out. I didn't know what to say to you, how to break the ice. And he was like, oh, no, man, it's great. It's great. And I was like, my name's Bobby. And he's like, oh, well, what do you do? And then I brought him in to meet Mel. And then that's how we met him. And we've hung with them so many times. I mean, it's like, it's amazing. But you were asking for this time who I like fanboyed off. Big time.
Give it to us.
I didn't know that I was gonna do it. Okay, so I wasn't like super like I didn't expect a lot.
Fanboying.
Yeah,
No, you don't pre-plan a fanboy moment. Yeah, no.
Right.
I didn't expect a lot from the interactions, but really the entire classic WoW dev team, I ended up just being the biggest fanboy in the world by the end of it because of how passionate they are. And like, and
Yes.
I always made a joke about like I made it from the start of Warcraft Reloaded, because sometimes changes would come in that we had talked about. I'd be like, well, they listened to our podcast Monday morning in the Monday morning meetings, but then to meet a bunch of them and them to know things about the show that they wouldn't know if they didn't like listen to it. Like, it was out of this world, and them being so excited about what they're doing. It's just like, I got so much excitement about the future for Classic that I was just beside myself. And then them killing it in their, like, in the what's next. I mean, Grid,
they were on fire. Oh my God. Yeah. They were amazing.
Grid might have the most infectious smile I've ever seen. Like, he just smiles, it goes from ear to ear, and you're like, oh man, he's excited. And then Tim with his wink, and Anna.
Yeah, that was so good.
Anna sharing the different times she died in hardcore. I mean, and Nora was great too. Like, it was just, they were all so awesome, and I just got to meet so many. And then to tip it off, like the very end, we're over there and we're talking to a bunch of different people, and then Clay comes up and he's like, oh, this is all their boss, and he starts talking to us. I think it was me and Mel and Sarthe. I don't know who else was there.
Yeah, I think it was just us. I think everybody else had kind of dispersed.
Yeah. And just talking to him, and then him he was talking about Josh Corbett, and he's like, Josh has his own show, but when he comes on your show, there's some spicier takes.
It was Clayton Stone.
Yep. And I was like, well, Josh has his show's tagline is, it's not my opinion that counts, but yours. So when he comes on, it's been tradition. When he comes on to Warcraft Reloaded, he goes full spice. And he was like, yeah, it was great. And then him asking us for a selfie, it was crazy.
I think if you're a podcaster and you're on someone else's podcast, you do get to go a little harder than you normally would.
It's my time.
Like when I had you guys on F's, you guys were going ham, and I loved it, right? And then I've gotten in trouble for going too ham on this podcast before.
Yep. No. You're not the only one.
Speaking of like fan moments, I had the funniest accidental burn interaction on Sea-Doo, because I used to watch Sea-Doo a long time ago, like back in Legion when he was doing like shaman arena videos on YouTube and stuff, right? Like I would watch Sea-Doo, and I used to be a shaman main, and like I was like, if there was one person that I recognized from like an arena perspective from back in the day, it was Sea-Doo, because I was never really big into the arena. But when I was, like, his videos were like what I watched when I wanted to like learn something, right? Or like analyze gameplay. So I finally got the opportunity to play with him in Frontier. And I was like, this is so cool. But I never like actually played with him, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because we were leveling at different times and like whatever, right? So I see him and Mez at the bar. And I know Mez. So I went up and I said, what's up to Mez? And then I introduced myself to Sea-Doo, and I was like, Sea-Doo, hey, it's Winky. I don't know if we've actually like really ever talked. We were both in Frontier. And he was like, yeah, I don't think we ever did talk in Frontier, did we? And I was like, no, because like I was on the raid team.
Oh, clapped bro back.
He got like red in the face, and then he immediately clapped back with like he was like, yeah, well, it is what it is, like fucking Frontier bullshit, Gil. And I was like, oh my God, I accidentally just burnt Sea-Doo. I did not mean to do that. Like, I was like, I'm sorry, but like I was supposed to be in the GDKPs, but like I got put on the raid team.
That's so savage.
Good job, Winky.
Good job. Rough. It was rough. I felt bad.
That's better than what I did. Like, I ran into Sea-Doo 3 different times in game in Frontier and thought he was C-Dank and was messing with him like it was C-Dank. And then I was like, oh. And the chat was like, dude, that's not C-Dank. I was like, sorry.
Dude, different people. Bob.
I did that's a rough 3 times. And I know exactly who he is, but for some like the name just looked like Seedank, like
That's actually
it was so
funny,
annoying.
though.
And
Oh my God.
Seedank's a warrior. Like, I mean,
Yes.
like
Always.
it's obvious. It was so funny. I was always doing it. And like I even like messaged him like, okay, well, you don't have to say hi or nothing. And he doesn't even know me. Like, you know, he's probably like, who is this
That's actually
dude?
hilarious, though, dude.
Like, yeah, I won't say
Sea-Doo?
hi.
Yeah, I feel like, well, there was most of the creators, I feel like, ended up knowing each other. Some people definitely, because we're in Classic, there's a lot of people that don't really watch much Classic, right?
Yeah.
So like a lot of people we would watch, like Bellular, like you said, right? That are looking to try out Cataclysm and Season of Discovery. So they're like excited about that, but they didn't know us that much then. But Bob, you mentioned it. It's just like one of the coolest things. This is actually one of the like insane. It was so fun and meeting all of the Classic WoW dev team and just seeing their literal genuine passion for the game.
Oh
They
my
love
They're
it.
so excited. Yeah, they
And they're
love it so much.
in
And they
tune.
love, yeah, they like literally they watch the videos, they listen to the
Every-
podcasts, they listen or they're on Reddit, they know what people are saying, they know what people are mad about. They're trying to deal with all of it, but they're just like so optimistic and excited about like the new versions of the game. It was really cool because like I feel like we became friends, you know?
Yeah.
Really, I
and,
really
like,
feel like that. Yeah.
I never thought that would be a thing, right? Like if when we were kids playing World of Warcraft growing up, you know, and like we weren't thinking like one day we're going to be friends with the people that are making this game,
Making the
right?
game.
Yeah.
And have similar opinions and like want to build this game, want them to build the best game, but like we could reach out and like if something was crazy, could literally reach out to them and stuff. And it's like every time you see each other in like the convention hall, it's like exciting, you know, it's like another group of friends you haven't seen in a while. And they're like, they've just done a bunch of panels. So they're exhausted, you know,
Yeah.
but it's,
Okay,
they're so nice and
here's
so
a,
dope.
here's
Like,
a,
they
here's a
still
fun
came and hung
little
out
story.
with everybody, right?
Yeah.
Like, they still came and were at the Hilton and talking to everybody there. Like, I mean, that like in and of itself just goes to show like they go so above and beyond and they enjoy every second of
And they
it.
honestly
Yes.
are like,
Yes.
okay, I'm not going to say who told the story, but I guess, so when they were doing their WoW Classic, What's Next? Okay, so they're all backstage at the very end. And I guess Tim's the very last thing where they had the make sure to delete this slide, blah, blah, blah. And then Tim's
Yeah.
like, oh. And then I guess like we couldn't see it because we were there watching live, but I guess when Tim does the wink at the end,
Yes.
the camera zoomed in, and I was told that all of the Classic devs were backstage watching, and they just like erupted in laughter and like cheering, and they said that the Hearthstone guys that were going next looked like they were like, what is going on right now? And what was going on was people working on a game that they really love to work on, and it's so refreshing and so
we can't
cool.
say that the Hearthstone guys don't love what they work on.
I don't know, but they definitely thought they were a little more. I mean, the
Savage.
Classic crowd is a little more rowdy, right? And they're
So the
one of
classic
us,
team,
right?
though,
Of course.
the classic team at Blizzard is a much smaller team than most of the
Yeah.
other teams at Blizzard. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like they have much more camaraderie and they're much tighter knit and like they feel like more of a family because they don't have 85 people on the team.
Yep.
It's a very small team. So small that in fact sometimes it takes them like it's a positive and a negative, right? On the positive side, you get like clam weaving, right? And then they put like a little clam weaving nod in the Season of Discovery, right? Like that's sick. That's great. That's
Amazing.
something that a small team only would do.
Yes.
But I don't think like retail would be doing that right at this point.
Well, and that's been the knock. I mean, that's what I told them when I talked to them. That's been the knock on retail for a long time, is that they don't play their own game and that they don't get excited, passionate about it. And seeing them do that reminded me of Blizzard of old. And I was just, and that's why I fanboyed out on them hardcore.
I'm still fanboying Blizzard for making hardcore servers. Like nothing shows that the classic team is plugged into the community as much as them listening to the community and making a game mode that the community is playing. Yep. Like making it official.
Everything they announced, and we'll get into what they announced eventually.
We probably should. We probably should get to something
5
soon.
versions of the game.
Oh man!
Just the fact that they aren't afraid to admit that, like, hey, we thought everybody didn't want RDF. We were wrong. We're sorry. We put it back in, right? Like, just the fact that they like will admit that and like announce that, right? Like, there was a lot of vocal people out there saying RDF was horrible and they didn't want it, right? And there was a lot of people that were like me who were like, I don't really care. I mean, people don't want it, like, whatever, like, don't put it in, it doesn't matter to me, right? And like, then I think you start playing the game and you're like, wait a minute, that would be really nice. Why do we have that?
Yeah.
And
I wish it was in earlier. I'd have been playing more. I would never have stopped playing Wrath if RDF was in the game.
Like,
well, like they try to listen to the community, right? They try to listen to the community and what the community says. And I think they've grown so much that they've grown to a point where they're now listening to more content, right? And not just like a small portion, or not
the
just
vocal minority.
The vocal minority, right? And
the
like
angry
Reddit crowd that was like, we hate world buffs, we hate Dungeon Finder, and then the biggest proponent against that though was like Scotty J would blast them for not having Dungeon Finder in like every video. There'd be one nod where it'd be like, well, you would like the game, but we don't have Dungeon Finder, so
Scotty J
so I can't be bothered, mate.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
love Scotty because he's just such an unapologetic, like,
it's the best.
Like, dude, I got so much hate for the G2G Code Winky meme, and it's still going on. Like at BlizzCon, devs were walking up to me making G2G Code Winky jokes, right?
Oh my god!
And like, I got so much hate for that, and it was literally Scotty J's joke. I know, but Scotty J gets no shit for that at all. It's and it's, you know,
with an
why?
accent, and it was really cute.
It's
you know,
because he's brash and he's unapologetic and he doesn't care what you think, right?
Yeah,
that's the difference. That's why
he never would have taken it back.
Yeah, that's why I get shit for it. Is because I'm not that way and he is, right? And it's like, fuck, I admire that about him.
It. You tried to like recant, you know, like no.
Yeah, good luck.
You're like, no, it was a joke. It was a joke.
It was literally a joke. It was seriously, unironically a joke, but
yeah,
that was funny.
We do know a lot of people that buy gold, but I'm pretty sure all of us here don't because we have a shit ton of time. So I don't judge. I don't judge anybody that does it, though. I will just say that just because, like, I just don't. I don't have to,
dude. There's a guy, even in Frontier, like in Discord, people were openly saying that like mounts don't cost 100 gold; they cost like this much in USD.
Oh yeah,
right. And it's like
I see that all the time.
So ridiculously shameless, man. Like I don't know. But that's neither here nor there. But one more thing I wanted to say about BlizzCon before we get into like announcements or whatever else you guys have on the plate, because we have no show planned today, right, Bob?
Nope.
Yeah.
One more thing, I just wanted to extend a huge thank you to everyone here that's got their cameras turned on, like Bob, Sarthe, and Mel, along with Taco Anyone, Crix, Showbet,
classic
for days,
classic
like all the
names,
homies, right? Well, so our homie group, like the whole homie group that was hanging out like at the Hilton all the time, or like walking around the con together, Jordy, right? Everyone, right? My girlfriend came to BlizzCon. She does not play many video games. She doesn't play any Blizzard games other than Diablo 4 every now and then for like 20 minutes at a time. She came to BlizzCon with her best friend that lives down in LA. And they came out to the Hilton, and both of them would not stop telling me from that night on how our group of friends, the classic homies that we were hanging out with, made them feel like they had known them for years. Like it was their first time meeting them, and they felt like they were instantly in the friend group, instantly got inside jokes. Like they like and it goes
They're
to
not
show
very
like
complex,
how,
to be fair.
yeah, true, but like how welcoming the classic community is in terms of like the people who game, the people who stream, the people who play WoW. For all of the negatives that the classic WoW community has, the positives are so strong, right? And
To be honest, like the community itself is just so like I didn't meet anybody that was rude or like, why would you try to talk to me?
It is
I think
amazing.
the haters stayed home, right? Like
Good.
the haters were on Twitter after the announcements, calling it Classic minus or you know BlizzCon F, whatever,
I know.
right? Like
we're all sitting there like so fanboying after the announcement.
Yeah, so
and
soaked.
everybody's like, dude, Twitter hates it. And of course Twitter hates it.
We got to play it right afterwards though, which definitely because I will be honest, during the opening ceremony, I was like, okay, well, I need to see this. And then when I saw it, it really made a lot more sense. And I was like, oh, this is cool. Because like, and then during the what's next, it really hit home. And I was like, oh shit, they're gonna have different gear. Here, we're gonna talk about that in a second. We'll because let's talk about Season of Discovery next.
Winky,
But
did
like,
you have any more? I
even
interrupted Winky.
No. I
on.
just wanted to say thanks, and it goes to show like the classic community, for all of its faults and for all the negative Nancys out there, I think that we are a strong community of people that are happy and positive and strong-minded and welcoming to new people, no matter who you are, what you play. If you're interested in joining Classic, right now has never been a better time to play Classic World of Warcraft. And
definitely.
If you're just starting Wrath today, dope. There's RDF. There's all these reasons you should start Wrath today, right?
Yes.
There's all these
Super
reasons you
easy to
should
catch
start
up.
Classic Hardcore today, and in 3 weeks we'll get Season of Discovery, which you can start in 3 weeks. Like, it's just a beautiful thing, and it like BlizzCon really opened my eyes to like how like everyone is just compassionate about the game, and we're all here spreading the love of the game to each other. Even if you don't play the game, you're welcome, right? It's dope. I loved it.
And everybody was super cool. Like, I got to meet new people. Like, I'm gonna miss a ton of people, but Shobek would be one of them. Tuna Tornado, Tornado, who's in chat. Even non-creators like Taco, like, and then like Palm B. Like I haven't watched a lot of her stuff. I've watched clips of different stuff, and that's how I know her. And then people I raid seem to raid her because I get up the next. I come back an hour later after I raided somebody, and they've raided her. But she was so nice. And unbelievably
her boyfriend is super dope too.
Her boyfriend was so cool. We had a
awesome guy.
Conversation, and then freaking
Guildies.
Desi. Like, I don't talk to Desi a ton, and we talked at TwitchCon, but like we talked even more here. Like, she's so fun. She's so fun.
You know how I said nobody said hi to me? I take it back. Desi said hi, and she's the cutest person. Like, I love her, and she's like walking, like I'm like walking by, and she like, I'm not very observant, so I don't really notice people, but I'm like walking by, and she's like, Mel, and she like looks at me like with this like look of like, do you know who I am? And I was like, Desi, like, come on. And she's just so sweet. She's like one of the sweetest people I think I've ever met.
She's amazing.
Yeah, she is.
I had a funny interaction with her because she's hanging out with Palm B, and I've never in my life watched Palm B. Of course I know who she is, right? Because like Classic's very small.
I mean, I'm gonna watch her now if I'm being honest, because she's so cool.
The WoW category in general is very small, right? So like, I've heard Palm B's name before. I didn't know that was her hanging out with Desi. I didn't know any of that, right? So I run up, and I'm streaming. I got my phone like holding, I'm streaming from my phone. I run up and say hi to Desi because we stayed with Desi at TwitchCon last year, and like, Desi's dope.
Yeah.
So Desi says hi. We do the formalities, right? We give each other a hug and catch up for a little bit. And then Palm B chat's like, yo, Palm B, Wiki Palm B. And I was like, what? Who? So I turn around and Palm Bee's right there. And she had never met me. I had never met her. So she said, guess what class I play. And I just said rogue because she looks like a rogue player, right? And she was like, that's exactly right. I am a rogue, right?
Yeah.
So then the chat starts
I like her
up,
less now
right?
that she's a rogue.
The chat is like
no classic rogue, like OG. She rogues in OG. Yeah.
I remember.
Keep in mind, my girlfriend is right here with us, right? And my girlfriend's like reading chat. Chat's exploding like Winky Riz unparalleled. Winky's risen up Palm Bee, like Winky the Rizzler. And I was like, you guys, my girlfriend's like right here. I'm not risen up anyone.
You are the Rizzler, though.
And my girlfriend's
you don't
like
even
laughing
try.
her ass off reading chat, right? Oh, dude, it was kind of scary,
hilarious.
actually. It made me feel very awkward. I do not recommend meeting streamers on stream.
On stream? Yeah, it's probably a poor choice.
It was
well, I mean,
we're drinking and we're at the bar. I've got my phone, like, it is what it is. But like,
I'll be honest, I'm kind of I talked to Mel about this after meeting Palm Bee, and I was like, dude, I need to like be a little bit cooler about not judging people immediately, because I did this with Desi too, where I'm just like, somebody's beautiful. I'm not gonna watch their stream. Like it's a bad thing. Yes. Because
is it one of those things where it's like anti-pretty privilege? Like, because pretty privilege is a thing.
Yes, that's exactly
a scientific fact. Right?
I
If
am
you're
the
a good-looking
type
person,
of guy.
you get further in life.
Yeah, I am the type of guy that when I'm walking into the mall, I will hold the door. But if you're like above a 9, you're
scared to hold the door.
No, I'm just gonna walk in. I'm just gonna let you know that you being pretty doesn't matter. Like I don't know why. It is horrible.
So weird,
it's horrible.
Bob.
Yeah, and that's what I talked to Mel about. I was like, I need to give people more of a chance, because like I'd seen clips of her and I thought, she was pretty funny when she did the whole thing with the hardcore add-on, and I told her this whole story, like where like she thought she was flag PvP, she slashed PvP'd, but like I just need to like not factor that in, because I give the opposite to like really good looking people, and that's not fair. It's not fair at all.
No, I agree. Sarthe is talking in guild chat right now, and I'm calling him out on it because I'm also in guild chat talking back to him. We're getting our world buffs while we're doing the podcast, just so you know. But that's really weird you say that, Bob, because like pretty privilege is a thing. And it's a very well-known thing, right? Like
handsome privilege is a thing too. I told you I used to be good looking. I used to have it a lot.
Yeah, sure. If that's what you want to, if that's how you want to treat it. But like, I'm
not now. Like it's different now.
It's interesting though that you have like the opposite effect of like, you're like, I recognize that it's a thing, and I'm not going to give you the satisfaction.
Dude, well, I just always hated it in my career. Like going up, I'd have different managers tell me I'm good looking. I'm like, how does that have anything to do with what we're talking about right now?
Your managers told you that?
Yeah, it was a different time.
Oh,
but
yeah,
he's very
careful
old.
with that one.
But like,
this is a different time.
But what I am saying is that like, you see Twitch, and everybody's like, oh, well, they just do it because they're good looking, blah blah blah. I don't know how to like say it correctly, but it really doesn't matter. Like I need to not be like that, because
stop being very judgy.
Bob, stop judging people.
And you were talking about meeting people and everybody being so cool. I mean, everybody that I met was so cool, and it was just I don't know, man.
No, it was amazing, and I would love to do it again. I think I'm going to go to BlizzCon every year.
If you guys are going, I am for sure. It was way too fun.
It was the highlight of our year.
My friends.
2017 to 2019. It was literally our yearly for sure vacation. Yeah. The highlight of it.
Before we move on to the announcements, I just have one more thing to talk about with BlizzCon, because you guys were saying you wish there was more to do, right? Like that was like the one thing that it was like, it would have been cool if there was like more to do in the different areas, right? One thing that was so different about this BlizzCon than the last BlizzCon is that this BlizzCon, everything was in the arena. Like all the like big announcements and everything like that. At the other BlizzCons, they had little stages,
multiple
set up
panels
in
going on
every
a different
little
area.
And there was multiple panels going on at every time. There was a lot of different little panels, like there's like a voice actor panel. There was like, just a, meet the artist panel. There was there was so much more going on in the different areas that made it seem like you could even just go like watch the art one for like 10 minutes and then just like get up and kind of walk away and kind of watch it in the background. Right? Like that's one thing that I feel like was missing from this BlizzCon. Like there wasn't enough happening. And honestly, like if I went there and didn't know anybody, I don't think I would have had very much fun. And I understand the negative feedback that some people have given about BlizzCon, especially if you don't play WoW, because I feel like there was very little for the other games, right?
Yeah, it was a lot of WoW.
Yeah, it was a lot of WoW in a really
This was like the best
area.
BlizzCon in a long time for WoW.
It was.
It
But,
really
like,
was.
And when you think about it, WoW had like a half a hall.
Yeah.
Overwatch had 2 halls.
That was stupid. I hate
That
that
were
Overwatch had
the
2
Overwatch
halls.
League. We got to watch the Overwatch League
It was
or the
amazing.
Overwatch World Cup finals, and it was an amazing. It was a reverse sweep, game out of 5.
No, it was great. But like, does Overwatch
I was
need
so
to,
happy.
okay, I'm gonna call Blizzard out.
Couldn't they have had a half like the other hall? Like the other half of that hall could have been the Overwatch hall.
Yes, but I was so hyped that we saw that together.
I want to call out Blizzard on this one. Like Blizzard, if you're listening, you killed Overwatch 2 outright. Dead game. Literal dead game.
It's a bummer.
And then
they allowed goats.
2
for too long.
Falls of BlizzCon for a dead game. Come on.
It was
Come on.
But I don't know. I think the World Cup was amazing.
The World Cup was pretty awesome.
Saudi Arabia won. It was hilarious because Mel and I got to interview 2 people from that team in 2019 when it was going to be their first year there. We did it for the Al recap.
I want them to fix Overwatch.
Cool to
by the way.
see.
I know that you guys don't do an Overwatch podcast anymore. I would love to do an Overwatch podcast.
I still play.
I want them to fix it and get it going. And I would love nothing more than to enjoy logging in and playing Overwatch. I'll tell you that.
I do think that they are actively trying to make it better right now. I think that they
same
are.
with Diablo, right? Diablo 4 was very scuffed at launch. It's still not where it needs to be for like a game to be consistently playable without boredom setting in very quickly. And from BlizzCon, I'm actually super positive about Diablo 4 in the future. Like I'm very excited for the things that they said they're bringing to the table.
We do need to move on a bit because I have raid in an hour, so we have limited time. So,
and I have to
feel
move.
I feel like okay. So we're not going to get to talk about everything. So I feel like I'd like to talk about Season of Discovery, but what do you guys want to talk about as far as the announcements? Because I'd like to keep it.
Well, I think Season of Discovery is what affects your listeners the most, right?
Yeah, well, Chris is coming on tomorrow, and he's probably going to want to talk about some of the Cataclysm stuff and stuff too. So, yeah, I think
let's talk SOD. Let's talk Classic Plus.
Yeah,
good.
Classic.
Let's talk number 1.
Plus more.
Yeah, we're going to give you a little bit of Classic plus
yep.
a little more. Yeah.
Oh my God, it was epic.
Okay, should we do let's do a roundtable real quick. Out of 10, from what you've seen already, what's your excitement level for Season of Discovery?
Just one thing about it.
No, like 1 out of 10. What is your excitement level of the
12 and a half?
Fucking 10, man. It's crazy.
10.
Just during the announce, I was like an 8. And then after playing it, I was like, I'm a 10. I'm a 10. And then rating again, I rated 5 times. I did the raid 5 times. I'm a 10. It's
Dude,
wild how excited I am.
There's so many layers. Like I complimented the devs so much when I talked to him because we talked to him a bunch and we had candid conversations. So we actually know more that is out there. And it's not because they leaked us something. It's because they were hammered down with interviews from people from IGN who don't know what to ask them. People from all these different big media things where they go and interview about every game. They don't know what to ask. So we knew what to ask. They didn't tell us anything they weren't supposed to. It's just no one else asked them these different things. Like, I asked him about the gear sets, right? And like it's something that a lot of people just didn't bring up. Like there is different gear sets for like cloth, leather, and everything else for tanking. If you're going to be a rogue, for like there's a whole bunch of different stuff. Like there's different armor things. You'll be able to collect different armor sets for your different stuff. It's really cool.
Let's do this real quick for the listeners. For those of you that don't know, at BlizzCon, Blizzard announced Season of Discovery, which is their attempt at Classic Plus. They just can't call it Classic Plus for reasons. Now, if you're familiar with Season of Mastery, the changes they made to rating, they removed world buffs, they changed a little bit of dungeons, so the anti-boosting measures, and they increased the XP rates, right? Season of Discovery is bringing the same classes that you love and you enjoy, the same classic world that you love and enjoy, but it's like a new way to play it, right? So you've got warlocks, they're able to tank now. Mages are able to heal now. There are going to be sigils, and the way you find these sigils is through runes. You find them through discovering things in the world or in a dungeon, and Blizzard is not telling anyone how to find these runes, right?
So cool.
We have to find them ourselves. There will be no PTR, which I'm excited about.
Same.
And
awesome.
And each rune that you discover unlocks a new ability for a class. We don't know enough about how it actually works, whether certain runes are in certain locations, or if they're random, or if you only get runes for the class that you're currently playing. We don't know any of that.
I think certain runes are in like hidden. There's like a specific secret thing you have to do to get like the metamorphosis rune that can make you a warlock tank.
And my wager require groups, right?
Yeah,
some
I think
stuff.
Yes.
I think
real quick though, before we dive too into it, so I'm giving the quick overview so the listener understands what was announced, right? Like they're level gating the content. So the first level gate is gonna be level 25. They're adding at level raids. So you're going to be capped at level 25. There's a BFD raid that we know about already, 10-man BFD with increased mechanics and increased difficulty, right? They're buffing the open world of Classic WoW, so enemies will do more damage to you as you're leveling. It's going to be harder.
And that's specifically what they were doing. They're not really, this was another candid conversation. They're not really doing like buffing health in them stuff, so it's longer and annoying. They're buffing
no meat
damage.
Shields.
Yeah, they're buffing damage specifically so that you're not like pulling a ton, or if you are doing AoE pulls, you got to be perfect, right? So like that's the type of thing they're doing. All right, sorry, go ahead.
That they all listen to us when we all, and I'm not saying like us specifically, like, but the community, when everybody was like, can't just give them more health. And
that's what Season of Mastery was.
Longer.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
know.
Yep.
And I complained so much. I was like, the mechanics are cool, but it's just a meat shield. It's not harder, which has never been part of Classic. Classic WoW's never been harder. It's just been like, other than like hardcore, there's that fear, but like realistically, Classic rating's never been hard. But like you like to feel like a god and go in and do these crazy things. And like they kind of thought about that, and like things are intimidating. You could die because things hit you a lot harder, but it's not going to be like meat shields. Now that we do more damage, it doesn't mean that it's still going to take like 3 minutes more to get like a normal kill on a boss or something, which is amazing.
So I may have missed some announcements in there, but the TLDR is that level gated classic WoW with abilities being able to be found in the open world or in dungeons, wherever, for your class, and new ways to play the game. I'm excited because I'm going to try and be the #1 warlock tank in the world. That's what my goal is.
In the world.
In the world.
Oh, man.
Of Warcraft.
In the world.
Okay,
Yes.
a couple other things. There's new raids, there's new gear,
Yes.
there's and then the runes you mentioned.
Yeah,
So,
the gear is really cool because it is itemized differently. Like you'll have a pair of leather shoulders that, you know how in Wrath, like, you know, you'll have a tank ring and instead of having extra parry, it'll have extra armor instead of that parry stat. And that's looked at as a druid ring more than like a pally or a, you know, it's looked like as a druid ring or a DK ring more than like a warrior or a pally ring. There's gonna be those same types of things on this low level blue gear, which like you'll be able to collect different gear sets. Like if you want a tank, you're still gonna want to go for the different gear sets. And I love that because that's what one of the things I hated about retail is it turned into you get one gear set and it's good for all your different specs. And as a warrior main and like different like, you know, I like having like a bunch of different sets. Like I think it's cool to collect them and be like, oh well, this set's good now. So that was one of the huge things I thought that was really neat.
I'm the most excited about just the open world aspect of discovering these runes. Launch day is going to be so fun. People are going to be stumbling upon runes randomly and they're going to be like, oh my God, if you want to unlock metamorphosis for the warlock, right? I just found the rune for it in the back of this mine somewhere or something like that. And like the streamers are going to be streaming it. You're going to jump into Sarthe's chat and he's going to be like, these are the runes that we've found as a community so far. You can go find them on your own, or if you don't want spoilers,
gonna be
right?
like, we haven't found any goddamn runes.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna make all those cheesy videos of my face like this.
There's no runes anywhere.
You won't believe where we just found this rune.
I'm excited for the exploration aspect. It's going to get people out into the world pre-level 25. Level 25 is such a low time commitment as well. You can get every class. If you're like a hardcore WoW gamer, you can get every class to 25 in like less than a week. You can start trying out these new builds. You can be a mage that heals. Warlocks, drain life is now a dot.
Come on.
And it does like 50% more life drain. Curse of Wreck is a taunt.
Well,
and
it's
a 10
only
second cooldown.
It's only like melee range too, as a taunt too, which is I think it's awesome, right?
Is instant.
Certain runes changed rogue to where fate now is your taunt. Like, and these are cool little things that change. This is funny because
Can you imagine if you switched your rune and you forgot you were trying to fate and you accidentally done it?
You guys, let's just think about the tanking classes available in Season of Discovery. Warlock, Rogue, Warrior, Druid, Paladin, Shaman.
Yep.
Right? Yep. That is 6 viable tanking classes. And I say viable very lightly
3
because we have
new ones.
no idea which ones are going to be crazy viable, right?
No, I think there's like pretty good hints. I actually... After this, I have to finish editing like a tanking guide because I went like pretty deep in down the rabbit hole. I think we can tell like what's going to be viable for what and where, as well as I kind of got like hints from the devs.
But we also don't know which runes are going to be available in the future to unlock.
But
at level 20,
actually, if you look at like class fantasy and how it's building on right now, they're gonna like the classes should evolve in that realm. Like if they're really good at this specific thing, they're going to evolve in that realm of what they're really good at. So like if we were looking at rogue tanks specifically are great as like a single target tank when it's a melee boss. So something that could hit hard would be amazing as a rogue tank because you're going to be parrying and dodging. That's mostly what you're doing. You're not actually dealing with like a crazy amount of damage mitigation. It's fine. but your big thing is going to be dodge and parry, and you have a lot of abilities that give you more dodge or more parry. Like Blade Dance is a new finishing move
on Warlock.
that's more parry, but Warlock also won't have issues with like magic mobs, right? Warlock has a 3-target cleave with their Shadow Bolt turns into Shadow Cleave. They also don't have issues with magic. They get like more mitigation and they can deal with other things. Whereas rogues are specifically like your AoE threat is almost non-existent. Blade Flurry will be like what you have to grab like 2 targets, or like you'll keep tabbing with Blade Flurry to get more.
Do you see how cool this is though? Do you see how cool this is because of that? Because of the runes and how you can swap? It could be like you could go through a raid and there's 7 bosses, right? But you have different tank setups for every encounter. And then on top of that, the biggest thing is I have been a tank for a raid all through Wrath. It's the first time I have done this, and it's been fun. But at the same time, you don't always want to fucking do it. Like, this is something where we can spread out the role to several different people and make so many more people happy, and also take away something that's been part of World of Warcraft for the entirety of it, is the tank privilege bullshit. Like where a tank's like, well, I'll do this, but you have to do everything I fucking say, you assholes. Or
I'm gonna take it all BOEs or something, you know.
There is no more tanks like, you know, just controlling like I had to deal through Classic. Our one tank, he got Thunder Fury, and this dude was the biggest dick you have ever met and the completely selfish asshole. But we had to deal with him because, like, are we going to start over? Right?
I'm going to say it, Bob.
Now, like,
I'm not
we
afraid.
can spread the love.
Thunder Fury is now Rogue Prio.
I have Thunder Fury. Yes! I had it in Classic. No. It's always been Rogue Prio.
Yeah, I'm talking Rot Rogue. Tanking Rogue with a Thunder Fury Prio. For a Rogue can be the main tank for your guild.
I think Thunder Fury might actually go to Paladin Prio now.
It could go to Paladin Prio. Good. I want it on a Warlock.
It's going to be interesting. I'm very much going to be going into like the.
It's not
what if they change it though?
Oh wait,
what if they change Thunder Fury?
Oh, they could.
Warlocks can't use swords, right?
Better than Thunder Fury. Yes, they can, Bob.
Okay, well then,
you can.
Then how's it not lock Prio?
It could be. That's what I'm saying.
It could be. It even says on the item that it's only for warriors and rogues, but anyone can equip it. Anyone can make it and equip it.
Oh, so like it's a swing it though. But they wouldn't swing it, so it'd be it'd be worthless.
But by the time we get to 60, this is big changes in this season. This is technically Classic Plus. They could change Thunder Fury. They could make Thunder Fury have options, so you redeem it and you can pick a spell power Thunder Fury, an attack power Thunder Fury, right? Depending on which tanking class you're playing. They could change around all kinds of the tier at level 60. The tier set bonuses are
they'll have to change the tier.
Okay,
yes,
I have got that. Okay, the tier, I actually have maybe information that nobody else has. But hold on. But there was something else I wanted to say right before that. Oh my gosh. Oh, yeah. So while we're talking, I've heard a whole lot of misinformation about the runes. Some people think that like they only showed 12 runes, but we're going to have 20. I don't know where that stuff came from, but we could tell you for sure. Crix, we talked to him, and Crix did his last interview, and they specifically said at 25, everybody, all classes have 12 runes total. Well, you can get more.
25, but there might be more.
Yes, 12. There will be more.
12 per 25. Class at 25.
At the next level gate. At the next level
25.
Gate, there could be more.
Yeah, there's
correct.
Definitely probably going to be more after that, but like there's only 12. There's no speculation about what else will be there on launch. These are the runes that we have that we saw at BlizzCon. So that's something I wanted to clear up.
But they can be hard to find.
Yeah,
that's the exciting thing is like they can be actually intimidating to find. Like we had access to all of the runes, but like we might take a while to even discover getting any like one of those runes.
People will data mine it, right? I'm sure they'll data mine it as soon as the game
if you
comes
want to
out.
know,
That's what
you
Nora
don't
said
wanna go
in
through
Crix's
Discovery.
interview.
if you don't want to go through Discovery, just wait 24 to 48 hours and then start
Yeah.
playing, and
Yeah.
you'll be fine.
But I'm excited for launch day specifically because it's going to be fun to go hunt for runes with your guild. Like whatever leveling guild you're in, people are going to be freaking out saying, and think how these changes are going to affect world PvP. Think how they're going to change like every aspect of the
PvP
game
in
is
general
gonna be completely
is
different.
so different.
They're
Dude,
going to
they
have to
even
change
teased,
all the PvP gear
Okay,
too.
so
they even
okay,
teased dual spec.
Mel and I
They
talked
even
to.
teased dual spec. Hey, can you let me talk?
Sorry.
They teased dual spec, which
In the
I'm
future,
surprised Bob hasn't talked about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they teased that. They also like your runes are like they're permanent on your gear unless you replace them, but you always have access to them, right? Like once you find them, you can swap them in and out of combat.
There's
Yep.
like, and you
So-
don't carry them with you. There's an interface. You like, it's just kind of like in Wrath,
Yeah,
the
kinda
toy
like there
section,
should
like,
be
you can just
for
add it
your
over.
Hearthstone.
glyphs
You know,
Dude.
kind of like there should be for your Hearthstone, right?
or
If you
your
just do there,
glyphs.
it's
But-
fine.
but-
yeah.
We did ask.
No, I'm not
a-
finished.
You talked about PvP, so I was trying to like point out, like it's a big question I asked because PvP wasn't broken. PvP was beautiful in vanilla. So I asked a certain question.
Go
You
ahead.
were there.
Oh, PvP wasn't broken in vanilla, eh?
Right.
In 1v1s, like I think it was pretty damn balanced compared to PvE.
Listen,
Open world,
Warlock.
open world, you would never like. I would never lose a 1v1 open world unless you randomly ran into a warlock that was PvP spec'd, that
Yep.
was
Yeah.
SL, and you had to be an insane warlock also to even still win that fight. But in that instance, a 1v1, an SL lock is just like unbeatable, right? But go on.
Locks are pretty much locks, and somebody who is PvP feral druid spec is almost impossible to beat unless you're a lock.
Listen, I was a fucking holy priest,
vanilla.
so don't talk to me about world PvP. Fuck
But-
that shit.
But okay, so but that's
like two
why
shot you.
that's why they need dual spec, because like I heard S-Fan today talking, he was like they shouldn't put dual spec in. He was like the world's so great
I'm
and
raging.
and like world PvP, and I'm like S-Fan, dude, bro, not everybody has everybody setting them gold. Like we just didn't interact. We like you're a fucking PvE Fury warrior. That just means you're a rogue with no tech whatsoever. So you just didn't fight. You just ran, died, rezzed.
Or you
ran,
try to kill them
died.
before they kill you.
No,
Can
you
I
just
give you
like you just
guys-
don't even try it. So you need
not gonna.
world PvP. If you want world PvP to be good, dual spec is necessary, or it's dead on the ground going.
Can I give you guys a little conspiracy theory to think about before we change the subject of the runes and all that?
Well,
Mhm.
we're not changing the subject of the roots,
Okay,
though.
I'm pretty sure Grace for Days accidentally leaked his insider information about Season of Discovery when he died on hardcore because he yelled Circle of Healing over and over and over again, which
Oh
is not
my
a classic ability, but it is now.
It
That's-
is
Season of
now.
Discovery, priests will get Circle of Healing.
We taught circle healing. Is there
I'm
anything?
pretty sure he knew.
Do something.
Do something, dude. That was a big meme
Dude.
during. We
Yeah.
just kept getting grazed with. No, but
Crazy.
okay.
I was
so,
hoping that clip would pop up.
So
Right?
Yeah.
I did ask Gred, like right off the bat, the first time I talked to him, like, dude, are you gonna make these runes not work in PvP? Because I think that PvP was pretty dang balanced. And he was like, nope, we're like maybe later we won't, but we're gonna let it go. So like that was all that I was just wanting to say it is gonna be in PvP, but
Yeah, it's gonna be
I don't
super
know.
busted.
that it
A mage
should
can
be.
sheep you reset. A mage can sheep you reset with frost talents, and then switch their talents out to turn into a healer, heal themselves to full, and reset completely,
Well,
and then
no.
get back
And
their other
that's
talents.
why
Yeah,
I
because
was
you're
saying
right.
I don't know if it should be in the game. That's what I was saying.
I'm hoping you have to be like at a class trainer to.
No. You can do it like in dungeons.
Anytime
I
out
would.
of combat.
Out of
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you guys were playing an early access.
Yeah, but they said
No,
that.
version of the game.
He
They, like,
said
said
that.
it.
Yeah, we talked to him.
Okay, well then
specifically.
they need to address it because like rune swapping, like you could sap someone as a rogue and rune swap to counter their build. Like it's I don't know. It seems a little
Okay.
sus for PvP.
So here's the thing, though. Can we all
That's
just
exactly
accept
what
the
I
fact
said.
that this is going to be so freaking wacky?
Oh
And
yeah.
the only here's the thing is we all have wanted Classic Plus. We've wanted Classic Plus. We've wanted them to do something like this, right? Do you think of how much more the brilliance of the team of coming up with these different things? Everybody's talked about different ideas. Everybody's had their different theories, right? And
Mhm.
putting all of those into this thing that it was wow,
It's a
that is
melting
a better
pot.
idea,
Yeah.
right? It's that brings it all together. But one of the most brilliant things that I think that they did was do it as a season. If they would have
Yes,
announced
absolutely.
Classic Plus, the rage that would have come would have been unreal, right?
Yeah.
People would have raged because you're not going to please everybody, right? But they announced this as a season and they say, hey, here's where we're going. We know we're going wacky. Let's just see how it works together, right? Let's see what this crazy community can come up with because they will come up with some crazy ass shit, right? And so you announce it as a season and you get this brilliant melting pot of people trying things that you're hey, that'll be good for this. Okay, we'll put that over here. We'll save that one for later, right? And they then eventually get to develop the Classic Plus that literally everybody wanted.
And that's
Right?
where
Yeah.
I agree
Yeah.
with the other thing S Fan said is he believes this is a beta for Classic Plus. And I
don't
think
even
that
think
is
it's a
very
beta.
true. But the other
Well, let me
thing
combat that. You didn't
that'll-
need to comment, and I wanted to retort.
okay, well what is the
He just doesn't even care.
I know, I'm just
Get him,
Will,
get him.
there's so much stuff
don't
I
even
want to get
think-
in. So I'm
I don't
sorry.
even think it's a beta though. That's the thing. Is I don't even think it's a beta. I think it's literally a first rendition of here's all this shit. And then I think we'll probably have another season of other crazy shit, right?
Yeah.
Unless this season goes perfectly, then they're just
well,
fucking yeah, we nailed it. Let's go. Let's keep going, right? But if it doesn't, it's hey, let's try it again with this stuff, right? Let's see how this goes. And then maybe they take a combination of 2 or 3 seasons that we've done and everybody's enjoyed and working with wacky stuff. And then they make this amazing new game, maybe, or maybe everybody just loves seasons. I don't know. But they left themselves open for so much. I'm just so impressed.
and I'm impressed by God, there's so many layers, there's so many things I'm going to forget, but just the fact that they we know they're in tune, right? But they've
Yeah.
had to have been in tune for a long time because the fact that they remembered how much fun it was to be level capped in the original WoW Classic beta, that was an accident that
Well-
everybody found out was really fucking fun. Getting capped was really, really fun.
It was actually, I think, something also that we got to experience in the hardcore beta, and they paid attention because I had that Makara tournament that I ran.
They talked about
the
that
first
specifically
Makara
in
tournament.
Crix's interview. If you watch that,
Yeah, and they all watched it. They watched it
They
all at
loved
the
it.
office and stuff. Yeah, and so that was also a reminder of what it was like in the original way back when, the original beta when only a certain amount of people were on and they started doing a bunch of community events. So it was a very similar situation where there's going to be a lot of community events, a lot of like, what's the best gear you can get at this level. And then like, cause we're planning to do a PvP tournament very early on before you can figure out quote unquote a meta. Like you can theorize things, but before people can really figure it out.
Good.
So it should be really fun to see like how it pans out. And that's something that you only get with these level brackets. And also it doesn't force you to know life. That's something I think is nice. Right. Is like, it doesn't force you to go all in on this.
Well, and yeah, because every time we move past that gap, they're going to super speed the levels. So anybody wanting to come catch up can come catch up with you fast and have a good time with you. And they've seen it go for weeks and they're like, I want to do that. But in the current iteration of the game, everybody be 60 and be like, okay, well, there's no chance. It's like me dying in hardcore and being like, I died twice. And at that point, I was like, oh, well, I'm not going to make it into the Frontier raid. Right?
Can I make an early assessment real quick? Just so if I get this correct, Sarthe, during the PvP tournament, you can say that it was Winky that had that idea.
All right.
Druid, like boomkins are going to demolish in PvP. No. Because they have 100% mana reduced on Wrath now, and a 20% chance for their next healing touch to be instant that procs off of their free Wrath.
Oh, that's true.
That's also just from one rune.
And it's one rune. And if you stack that with their other runes, I think they have Sunfire and Star Surge.
Yeah.
These boomkins are going to be dumpstering people. I'm telling you, it's going to be
good for the
scary.
boomkins, right?
Finally.
Yes, it's great for the boomkins. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Same with Shadow Priest. Warlock gets AoE out the wazoo now. So does Shadow Priest. Shadow Priest gets Mind Seer.
What you guys?
That's the most busted thing I've.
Yeah.
Giving people more PvP is just busted in my more AoE is so OP.
If they have,
can Rogues please get some?
Warlocks don't
thank
get
you, Sarthe.
Seed.
Dude, I felt weird doing it. Like, oh man, yeah, I felt weird. Like I played Rogue when I did the raid with Ompi and Shobek and Crix and everything, and I felt like I was so unnecessary, to be honest.
Rogues have always been like the worst class for dungeons. Actually, you have no AoE. You have a 2-minute cleave.
I don't know,
that's
man.
It. They're great for raids, but they're good for hardcore because you can save people.
Badass.
You have so much CC and so much, like, you can control every situation. But in an actual dungeon like speed leveling group, it is we've notoriously been the worst.
What do you guys think of the
nasty? They have a Shadow Word Pain that dots 3 enemies now at once. Mm-hmm. It dots the enemy and the 2 ones that are close to it. It's gonna be like
Shadow. So here's the thing, though. It's not even just Shadow, though. You guys have to think of like that, like more because I'm not a Shadow Priest. I'm other priest. And I think you guys have to think about it too, though, that like there's going to be so many other classes that also have healing abilities that this also allows for a lot of the healing classes to take some of these damage, like runes and stuff as well, that will not only help them when they're trying to level up and things like that, but also like just make them contribute more, right? Like literally nothing was more boring than a healer in Classic.
Yep.
True.
It was like this mini game.
I don't even know. I never would do it.
No, it was a mini game of can you get the heal off before the other healer gets the heal off, because that's the only way you're going to get to heal somebody.
What did I used to call it, Mel? I used to call it Google Sheets Simulator, like Excel Sheet Simulator when you're playing a healer. God. You're just staring at grid.
Didn't you have heal comms though? So like you knew that someone else had an incoming heal.
If you're gonna parse,
but if
you got a snipe heal.
You got a fast heal. You're gonna heal before that.
If you're moving fast, you got to be like efficient, and you have to like these are your assigned.
Speed runner. I had full mana like all the freaking time. Like it was like you had to get heals off. Like you just wanted to feel useful. It wasn't even about parsing. Like I don't give a fuck about parsing. It was like I wanted to feel useful. Like I actually did something.
What'd you guys think of the? Oh, sorry. Go.
No, I was just I was so used to like you would cut healers very quickly in any sort of speed situations. You always try to choose to cut healers. So the healer job does become a lot more intense because people are always running really fast, right? You're always trying to just get to the next pull as quickly as you possibly can. But then on top of that, it's always about like being really efficient with your heals.
Yeah,
like you always need to be really, really efficient because you need to reserve your mana. Yeah.
Throughout the expansion, but like Molten Core and BW.
Yeah, your normal raids, you're just like, what am I doing here?
Right? Like I could probably go AFK for 10 minutes and nobody would notice. If we didn't,
they'll notice when like the dog respawns and then like pulls on everybody.
They just go and follow, you know?
No, they just notice it when Mel doesn't loot the dog, and that's about it.
Yeah. Oh my god. Okay, I have a question though.
Oh, dang it. I've been trying to ask this forever, but go ahead.
Well, it's changing.
You guys are so funny.
Yeah, you guys are.
This is the husband and wife dynamic I want to one day have.
You
okay,
will.
So here's my question.
I've met her. You're going to have it.
Did you?
True.
Yeah. Right. Okay. One, did you guys ever think about a world where they would do it from like 25 and change things like that way? Because whenever I thought about Classic Plus, I always thought like adding on to 60 content,
I did
right?
too. And that's why this is so cool.
No.
That's why this is so cool.
Same.
It's amazing that they did it.
I don't know anybody that even like brought that up, which is so cool because I feel like we all like said different things about like content in the same world because we love the same world. And it was like, and I remember being like,
is going to bring the world back. Each phase, we're going to go right back in.
I remember saying something like they should go to like 62 or something and not like 65 because like you don't want that big of a jump, right? And then for them to just be like, you know what?
Actually, yeah.
Whatever, we're just going to go to 25. It was like, what? And
I always wanted like Gilneas or something. Like, so I always thought they'd like maybe add a couple leveling zones and then really focus on like new end game. It's like Stellar Grim Patrol, things like that. Never in my wildest dreams would I have considered them like adding BFD as a raid with actual mechanics.
This should be the retail model going in. It really should. It really should. It will bring back the world every time the phase shifts, and then there's no big grind at the start to get to your max level. It's a journey. Like they might have actually helped retail figure out how to come back.
I mean, I think honestly, like you're gonna get in the grind no matter like if you go long enough, like you're still gonna get.
We are super try hard. We're gonna go as hard as possible.
Yeah, I mean, I told my girlfriend today, like, expect me to have all the classes at 25, like by day 3. Right.
Yeah,
that's cool though. Like, it's cool that you can do that. It's cool that you can experience that part of the new season and the new game in that way. I think it's very cool. And I don't know if everybody likes this idea, but like, I like the idea that they took content that we know and changed it.
I love it. I think it's sick.
Yeah.
Like the raid is reminiscent of what you know.
But it's cool.
Yeah, exactly. So and you see like mobs that you've seen before are now raid bosses, and you're like, how is that going to pan out? You know?
Let's be devil's advocate though, because I know there's a lot of haters out there. I got a message today from someone that I'm not going to name, and I was talking about Season of Discovery, and they said, "Oh, you mean Classics retail expansion, right?" Like there are some haters out there.
I saw that.
It is difficult for me to wrap my brain around it because my opinion is that we always have white main. We always have the hardcore servers, right? We're always going to have the original vanilla that you can go back and play. And if you really want to, you can go install the servers that will not be named, right? Well, that are always doing freshes. So like, I can't really see the negative on it, but I'm looking at it from their perspective. And like, do you feel like possibly this could be like a point of no return where class fantasy kind of dies? The feeling of classic WoW kind of dies with it, right? Like
after playing Baldur's Gate 3, I say no.
Ooh, how does that?
An interesting take.
Yeah, go on. Please explain.
Because so I was expecting when I so I never played D&D. When I started Baldur's Gate, I was expecting to like be pigeonholed for different classes into certain things, but you can multi-class. You can do all kinds of different intricate things. You can be a healer that like does get up in melee. You can be. There's a whole lot of options. So like I don't know that's really the thing.
People
isn't
like,
that exactly what people don't want when they're saying losing class identity, right? Like you don't want to feel like a healer that can be a melee.
So the thing with Baldur's Gate is, as a D&D player, like you could always do that, Bob, in D&D. Right. That's a classic D&D
that's what I mean.
thing,
I didn't know that, right?
But with WoW, like, is Kevin Jordan rolling over in his developer grave at the thought of a paladin with taunt? Or a mage with a healing spell is probably a better example, right?
Yeah, like, Paladin should have had taunt from the
beginning. That's
how dare!
But would Kevin Jordan be rolling over in his developer grave as the original class designer, looking at a mage, like watching a mage heal a 5-man dungeon? And is this a thing that could possibly be like a once you go there, you can never truly go back?
It might be, right? It might be a thing where true healers might not like these changes. Like,
oh no, they feel so much better. Are you kidding me, Mel? Did you try the healing priest?
Yeah. I mean, in a raid,
it's so much better, right?
Like
100%. Healers actually have abilities now. Like, there's actually things to do. I think the coolest aspect. Oh, you go first.
No, I'm just saying, like, I could prayer of mending, like, fuck, thank you. Like, I could prayer of mending and then, like, do whatever I wanted, which when I was in the beta was try to look at how to make my classes look different on my screen and why I couldn't just click their nameplates, which was really annoying because I had no add-ons. But I was, like, trying to figure out that shit, and I just prayer mending things, and then Oppie would yell at us. But, like, there's so much more to do.
Oh, Oppie yelled at us so much in that raid.
I talked to him. It probably wasn't just you. I'm sure.
It wasn't.
I'm not saying names.
It wasn't us. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yelling is an overstatement though, because it was very calm.
Well, you had to yell in that convention to just talk at a normal loudness.
No, we were on voice comms.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, it was loud AF in there. But I don't know. I'm interested in like comment. Okay, go ahead, Mal. Go ahead.
Well, I just think that, in my opinion, yes, I would have been very scared if this was announced as anything other than a season, to be honest, because it is very wacky. But they said they know it's very wacky. They said, we went in and just did whatever, like, and we're looking for feedback and we're looking to improve it, right? Like, I am very confident that they will listen and make changes. And I think that's what they want. They want to get the player feedback. Like, the feedback last time was they didn't make enough changes, right? Now they're making too many changes. It's just like we've got to get somewhere, right? And if we just throw everything out there and see what sticks and then say like, all right, dial it back a little bit, right? Like, take the fucking mage heal away. That's ridiculous. But, whatever.
I agree. I think, go ahead, Sarth.
I think I had a similar sentiment like after the first announcement at the beginning. And then after playing the game, I felt like every class still had a very solid class identity. So that kind of fixed it for me, where like it literally felt like every class was its own. The mage heal's the one thing. Mage heal and maybe rogue tank. I think warlock tank sounds like a really fun one. Actually, even rogue tank technically was already a thing. Rogues are tanking Resuvius already, right?
That's what I've said to people. Like, classic and TBC, rogue tank could be a thing.
Yeah, it's literally a thing. So it's like, you had to work really hard warlock for it. Tank is more out of the pocket than rogue tank, because you even had shamans tanks being a thing. So like, it feels like there's a lot to unpack. There's a lot coming at us, but that's why we're also, another reason it's pretty good that we're getting things time gated, because we're not getting like overwhelmed with things. And it's not feeling like too new, because we're going to have very few abilities right away. And I think I've talked to a lot of the devs, and a huge aspect of one thing I had concerns with and talked to them about was like maintaining this classic magic, this classic feel. It has to still feel like classic, which means you have to have this class identity. A rogue has to be a rogue, like a mage having the ability to heal. Well, they did it in a way that was actually pretty unique to mages. Like, I mean,
I think it's
realistically
cool.
It's cool
with like the temporal rift thing and the fact that mages heal by being like arcane mages, which is pretty dope.
So there's a lot of really cool aspects added to the game. I think a lot of it works really well. I think after playing, I got more and more hyped though. That's like really the thing that changed it a lot for me was playing it and being like, this is really cool, instead of like, it feels like classic. And I think everyone who gets in there and plays it once it's out and available for everyone, they're going to be like, oh my God.
Which
this
is
is
probably
cool.
Another really good thing that they did, saying it comes out on the 30th, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's huge, because you give people too much time to contemplate this. Like, they're going to go one way or the other, and you never know which way that's going to be. And like them being like, it's coming out the 30th. It's like, what? Hold on. That's crazy. And I don't know. I feel like they're going to be open to making changes. I feel like 100%. It's going to be a lot of fun. I also feel like the opening ceremony is where most of these comments came from. And at the opening ceremony, we were all like hyped during the ceremony just because it's like hype in the arena, right? And then we all kind of left and we were like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this.
I don't understand.
Don't know yet.
I don't understand what this is, but you, like Sarthe, Mel, me, got lucky. We literally walked out of the opening ceremony. Sarthe got to go jump on stream, and then me, Crix, you, Ampy, Shobek, God, so many people just like got to like go and jump right into a 10-man raid and try it immediately, and we were like, oh, I get it. Whereas the rest of the people had to stew for a couple hours until the what's next in Classic, right?
Right. But even then, like, we got to play it, and that made a whole bit of a difference. But like, we only went through it once. Like, Sarthe got to go through it multiple times. So I feel like he has a better idea of it. Like, even just in that one play session where we were at after we played once, right? And then, but then you went to the up next panel, and it was like, okay, there's like, it's all starting to come together. Right?
Yep.
And like,
it seems really cool. I think that it's the target audience is not the classic purist, right? It's not the hashtag no changes people.
Yeah, but those people quit anyways. That's the exact. That's the exact amount of people that quit.
And they're gonna love, but guys, I think we're gonna convert the classic fresh people because they love the world being populated. They jet 3 months in, right? They jet out. They're like, where's the next fresh? Now the next fresh is going to be right with the character they've been bissing out. And they're going to get bissed out and be able to go into the next, like, whatever level jump it is. That's the next fresh. And it's within that same thing. I think it's brilliant.
Yeah, I think that's I think that's a really good way of them to keep player engagement, right? And I think Blizzard understands from a we have to show our higher ups numbers perspective as well, that's a great way to keep player engagement, right? And they know that we've been asking for it since the classic beta, where it was level gated and everyone had fun bissing out their characters and dueling tournaments and like having fun with that was really cool. I'm trying to be empathetic and like listen to the vocal minority. I don't even know if it's the vocal minority. It could even be the vocal majority. There were so many people that were mad about that announcement. And having been there, we are skewed because it's hard for us to understand why they're upset about it because we've played it. It's dope. We had a ton of fun with it. But then again, if you
I had a ton of people message me during the thing excited too that, you know, I don't know, man. I think
if you ask those people, the people that are complaining about it, if you ask those people, they will give off a list of names, and all of our names are on it, labeled as like Blizzard sympathizers, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to understand, like, maybe, hey, if you're in the comments and you dislike these changes on YouTube, like, put a comment, tell us what the reasoning is behind it, because I would love to know.
Man,
Yeah,
I was the opposite of a sympathizer for Season of Mastery. I literally was like, the only reason I'm doing this is for Road to Rag hardcore, to do this with my friends.
Same.
But see, I've said so many times, Season of Mastery is dead once hardcore finishes Road to Rag. That is all their hype. And so many people were like, you're a doomer. It's so cool. All these new mechanics. At least we finally have no world buffs. I was like, you are just terrible at the game. I was so mean. I was like, you're the worst at the game. You don't understand what's fun. Just
by the way, sorry.
I was like, I just was so frustrated because I kept trying to be like articulate like why I think this wasn't going to last, and there wasn't really much for you to do at max level. Like most people aren't going to play it because they're missing out on a lot of the classic feel. But this has a very unique spin on the classic feel. After testing it, it has a very unique spin on the classic feel that still feels classic, that I know a lot of the competitive guilds will actually get into because it's a new thing that actually feels classic.
If we weren't actually excited for Season of Discovery, we would have just talked about Cataclysm Classic, and we would have talked about the hardcore SF servers, right? Like, if we weren't like excited about it, we just wouldn't have focused on it as much.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like,
true.
I don't know. But I could be proven wrong, right? Like, we could get in there and be like, this is a fucking shit show. Like,
yes, absolutely.
It's going to be a shit show to start. Just like, get ready for that. Like, but that's okay. The thing I wanted to say way back when I was like, oh, I wanted to say something, but I let Mel go, is I just want to know if you guys feel this same thing. So the hype video they did for Black Fathoms Deep, where they were like going through, it was like, one of those raid videos. You know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. Like they did it during the
hurricane. Like they did like a hurricane.
No.
It was a hurricane video.
That's
Kata. Oh, that was for Kata, actually. Yeah.
No, what I'm talking about is the BFD one, and they're going through and they're showing all the low level people in there. Then they're showing the last boss where people are jumping on the platform and they're missing the platform. Like,
yeah,
you don't exactly. I can tell you don't remember exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
but it was like,
I don't.
You should go back and watch. It's at the very end of the what's next, and it's hilarious because it felt to me like I might be dating myself. You guys might not even know this, but it felt to me like Muppet Babies, like where you're like looking at a whole bunch of the Muppets and they're like young, and that's what this hype video was. It was everybody running through BFD, but they're all small and like the small armor and everything, and I don't know. I guess I was the only one that felt that was hilarious. But I don't know.
I thought it guys. Bob thinks that Season of Discovery is going to be similar to the Muppets.
Yep. The Muppets.
Muppet Babies. Muppet Babies.
You know, I really like. No, now I'm thinking about that trailer. I really liked it because it was an ode to like the OG trailers that guilds would make before like a world record kill or something, or world first kill.
Yep.
You would zoom your character in really far and you would like be running through the zone up to the boss and like have your UI hidden and record it, and it was like very jumpy. It was very much like Warcraft movies.
We still do that today.
Do you know who made that? Do you know who?
It Platinum?
Nope.
Was it Willie?
A grid.
Oh, no way. Nice. He actually went in and did that.
Yep. I was talking.
That was great.
I was talking to him. I was like, dude, I really love the little hype BFD video. And I was like, who made that? And he goes, me. I was like, no shit. He was like, yep. I made it pretty fast. I was like, I loved the last boss because he literally has everybody coming over and he has two people, a druid and someone else, miss the jump and fall through. And I was like, this is perfect. This is perfect. Like it's like a Tiny Tykes raid. Like I think that's cool. I really do. I think that like makes it unique and fun. Like, I don't know.
I'm excited for the future of the level caps. I mean, if we have a level cap at like 40 for per se, like, and we get a Scarlet Monastery raid, I'm gonna flip my lid. I'm gonna be pogging out of my gourd, boys. I'm gonna be so stoked.
Right?
Scarlet Monastery raid, dude.
We're getting a Scarlet Monastery raid.
Action.
Oh, white main the baddie.
Little
People
white
that want to
main
call
boss
us
action.
sympathizers, right? Like, sure, we're very excited. We were there, right? Like,
Yeah.
we were there, surrounded by a lot of other very excited people, and playing the game and like enjoying ourselves, right? And
Yes.
like that's fine. Like, we love it, and we don't talk about everything. We don't say we love everything. Like, we've bitched
not at
about
all.
quite a few things.
Oh, we've bitched about a lot of over
we've
the
had
years.
Scotty on to bitch about RFD many times.
You know how it goes. It doesn't matter.
Oh, I do.
You can bitch about everything, but the second you say something someone disagrees with, you're the worst person on the planet.
Listen, I got
for them.
reamed for being like, well, Blizzard wants to make money. And I'm like, that's just a reality of life, people. You just like, sorry.
I made a video once and it was just like Blizzard fucked up. That was like the whole title.
That was the
just
best ever.
It was ripping. I was like, this is the dumbest thing they've ever done. And I get a message from my granddad. It's like, so it wasn't like that bad. I was like, but like, it's so funny because I'll have like videos on that.
What was that for? Oh my God.
I forget.
It was
I actually
something
forget. I have to look it up.
it was something
something
really
bad,
bad.
though.
It was something really bad.
Yeah.
Like, it
And
was
then-
that bad.
Hopefully, it
And
was
then-
the cash shop in TBC on launch.
But if we have
mind that.
forgotten, it actually wasn't that bad then. Huh?
Yeah. But it was like me doing my obnoxious face on a thumbnail thing, you know? But one part about it was really funny though, is like you could do that. And then the next video you do is like, oh, this is like a secret trick or something, or like, this is like something in the game. And someone's like, you're a Blizzard shill. It's like, wait, what what? This is an exploit in their game, by the way.
Every
You know,
time,
like-
dude.
It's like
every time, dude. You can't win in the content world. Let me tell you.
Yeah,
But I'll say it, dude. I love the classic dev team. Like, they are so passionate, so nice. They really, really care.
I feel so
like,
much more
maybe they'll
comfortable
fuck
now.
this up, but I know they're really trying not to, and I'm like kind of really hyped. I think it's going to be really good.
I'm
majority of
relieved
fuck-ups-
to know that they're so into it.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I think the majority of fuck ups come from above the classic team. They come from leadership. They come from dollar signs coming down on the company, being like, why are you not making money on this stuff? You know.
And they've got different leadership now.
But
They're
hey,
not
true.
Activision anymore.
Guys,
I talked to them about that. They are excited about Microsoft, by the way.
They are. And I think there is a different future
Microsoft
for us.
oftentimes gives people time to lose money to make money, which is what I've been excited about since the beginning of that whole process.
So one thing I want to say before we end this, because I do know, like,
we do
everybody talking
need to end.
Everybody talking to the devs is, one thing, but they do listen to literally like everybody. Like, they want to hear from everybody.
They're not listening to just us.
They don't just want to hear from the biggest content creators. Like, I know that's been a criticism in the past. That's not them. Like, but the big content creators put out the most information about a lot of shit, right? So they do listen to them, but they're not just listening to them. Like, they try to listen to everybody, but you have to parse through everybody's opinions, right? But I do think, like, they just want to be involved. They want to make a game that everybody loves. That's their goal. Like, honestly, I honestly feel that way after meeting all of them and like talking to them. I honestly feel that way.
And they love it too. And they do not want to upset everybody. They want to make you guys happy. And I will leave
that
you.
should go without saying, though.
I will leave you with this.
No one
guys.
goes to college to become a game dev to make a game that everyone hates. Right? Like,
mobile games.
I really wanted to bring this up earlier, but we just didn't have time. I mean, we would have to talk for 20 hours to really get through it all. But the thing I was telling you about tier sets, I'll leave this with you. One of the main people working on the tier sets that are coming in is Zyrene.
oh, so DM Zyrene all of your issues with this, guys. If you're a classic minus, if you're a hater, go hit Zyrene in the DMs.
Oh God.
He's gonna be so annoyed. He's like, God damn it, Bob.
You better cut that.
No,
It's not.
It is a good thing, and he doesn't care. Like he's just not gonna respond to you. But we talked to him at the very end of Friday as he was walking out, and he is really looking forward to the different class bonuses for the different rune sets too. He's really like looking to make it a fun puzzle for us to like work on. And so I thought that was a really cool thing, because him going to the classic team has been a very quiet, huge thing for us. And
I didn't know that Zyrene was allowed to talk about that stuff.
Yeah, it was after they announced it.
Yeah. Wow. No,
like when we talked to Grand and stuff.
He didn't give me any. He didn't tell me what they were going to do. He's working on it. So yeah,
it's just dope. He's also. He's literally a theory crafter, and like him and I came up with literal like ideas for speed running ICC and like how the meta would become. And before even TBC came out, like a bunch of like meta ideas for TBC on like an old podcast that I used to just do by myself. And they like all became spot on true. And they were like these, not really out of pocket, but for most people, they'd be like, that's ridiculous. Look at private servers. And we were like, but this is how people like play the game now. This is how they would min max it to the highest level, and like how things would become meta or like go crazy. And like he's like he's really good at the game. He's in one of the best skills in the world. He is always looking at how to improve things or make it
and he
better.
Cares about it.
Yeah, and he cares. He likes the game. He's dope.
I think he is a great person to be. I mean, there's more than just him, of course, but I know he is involved now, and that made me feel really cool. I was like, I'd love to see what's to come. But guys, that's all we have for today. We have to get to raid, so
yeah, I have to move.
Sarthe, where can we find you?
You can always find me, guys. Sarthe on Twitch, on Twitter, and on TikTok. I think it's Sarthe TV or maybe Sarthe Games. I don't know. I should probably know that. Whatever. And on YouTube, it's also just Sarthe. But guys, thanks again for having me here on the podcast.
Yeah, thank you for coming. Winky, where can we find you? G2G?
You can find me in my mother's basement playing World of Warcraft Classic Season of Discovery on 11:30.
With Evora.
With Evora, yes. You can find me at twitch.tv/Winky, or on YouTube, it's Winky HC, and everywhere else on the planet Earth is Winky Potamus. Like a hippo, but like a European phallic object hippo. Because that's a thing, I guess. I didn't know that when I came up with the name, but it is.
I mean, very fitting.
And thanks again for having me on the show, you guys. It was amazing seeing your beautiful, loving faces and feeling your warm embrace at BlizzCon. And I can't wait to do it again. We need to meet up before next BlizzCon. Absolutely.
Yep.
Yes.
And you can find
energy until next BlizzCon.
You can find Mel at the next BlizzCon. You can find me on Twitter at Blazin_Bob. That's BLAZZIN_BOB. You can find me on Twitch at BlazinBob. And you can no longer find the Warcraft Reloaded Discord because the hackers, from what I understand, have kicked everybody now. So yeah, we're going to make a new server, and I'll let you guys know where that's at here next coming weeks. So yeah,
call in and leave a voicemail.
Yeah.
Yep. All right, guys. Later. We'll see you
guys
next time. Thank you very much for checking out Warcraft Reloaded Podcast. Make sure to like and subscribe and hit that bell so you don't miss any future content.